in a second. All right, we should be live.
Done.
We should be live. We are? Are we live?
Yep, we got the live in the top right corner.
I don't confirm we're live until I hear the echo from our YouTube channel. Okay, we are live. We have myself, Jeff Lowe, Clem, Greg Grunberg. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Robbie, Joey, KenJac. This is it. This is we can't have more than 6 people. So this is as packed as this stream can possibly get.
Can I just say off the top, I'm honored. I really am. I mean, you could have chosen any creature from the Star Wars canon, and I'm such a huge fan of all you guys and Barstool, and this is great. I'm really happy to be here. You
were next in line behind our favorite diner owner from Attack of the Clones, Dexter Jetster. So He said no. We're like, all right, we're going to go to Greg.
I knew I wasn't number one. I knew it. We're
going to take questions from the chat. I'm sure people got some Star Wars questions they want to hear about anything. We'll throw them at you. We're just here to watch. We're here to have fun. We're watching Rogue One. It's on Disney Plus. If you have not joined us for one of these before, as I'm tweeting and posting our blogs here, we will put the time up of the movie. So we'll have the time periodically go up. If you need the time, put it in the chat. We'll try to catch it and toss it up when need be, but we won't keep it up the whole time. We've had people complain. They say they don't like when it's up the entire time, which is understandable.
You do that. If people come late to the party, they can catch up. They can just
or if your stream buffers or something goes wrong. Yeah. So everyone pull up your Disney Plus. Everyone pull up the Disney Plus. Get ready to go. We'll let people load in. We just tweeted it. When was the last time everyone saw Rogue One? We'll start with you, Clem. When was the last time you saw Rogue One?
I'm saying not too long, like within the year. But considering my company, I'm probably the furthest one to have seen. This is probably by far the longest it's been. But I'm within the year. Because I did the whole ranking the movies now with the Skywalker saga and then Solo. I was like, I have to remember how much I liked Rogue One. So I've seen it within the year.
Greg, what about you? Last time you pulled up Rogue One?
To be honest, in full, in the theater.
There you go. It's to be a good rewatch.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's been a long time. And just in testing, I wanted to make sure that I got everything lined up. I've got I'm in my recording booth here in the house. And I pulled it up and we will talk about it, but the first 30 seconds of this movie, you're in. You're 100%. It's such a great movie. I love it. And the only thing it's missing is obviously Snap Wexley, but
it didn't make. Yeah, he wasn't quite old enough yet. To be in this one. Yeah, Robbie, Joey,
it's been a few months for me. I would say probably sometime last year I watched it, but I go back to the final act of this one a lot. I do the same thing with Endgame, where I'll just go back to once they get to Scarif, and I'll be like, all right, we're going balls to the wall here. Yeah, but it's been a while.
To watch it all the way through, it was in the marathon 1 through 9 leading up to Rise of Skywalker. So May or June, somewhere in there last year. And then Robbie, I don't know, once Disney Plus came out, I think I just popped it on as background. But so probably November, I'd say, is the last one.
I think I was early last year, some point when it fed onto Netflix. I watched it then, but I've watched, I think, the ending Vader scene probably 200 times on YouTube between the release date and now.
Right.
KenJac, are you and I on a motorcycle? Who's in back of you there? Is that me in back of you?
Unfortunately not. We just confirmed his name pretty recently. Our good friend from Empire Strikes Back who finds Han Solo. What was his name again?
Zev Sineska.
Zev Sineska, a guy everybody knows and loves. Not quite as snappy, no pun intended, as Snap Wexley.
Well, at least you're not going to crash. So that's
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So if you have Disney Plus up, we're going to start in a minute. People are still loading in, so people are going to have to start a little bit late. Actually, I got to pull up my timer just so everyone has it. Make sure the movie's set on 0. We'll all start at the same time. I'll count down 3, 2, 1. After I say 1, hit play, and then we're going to watch some Star Wars here. How long is this movie? I forget.
It's 2:15, I think.
Yeah, it's a decent time. It's a decent
2:14. Look at that, 2:14.
Where is that in the whole saga? Where is that? Right in the middle, or is that? In terms of length?
I think it's in the middle.
Yeah.
I think it's right in the middle. All right, here we go. All right, Rogue One. Countdown from 3, 2, 1. We're going to hit play. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Rogue One. I'm going to share my screen here so people see the timer.
I've got dial-up. Is that a problem?
Just tell anyone to get off the phone at home.
We'll explain. That's what I was saying. I'm like, if Disney wants to allow us to show these movies on the YouTube stream, let us know.
We'll do it. Yeah, we'll cut a deal.
Shouldn't be a problem.
And let in the chat if there's background noise, let us know. We can all turn our things down a touch. Just let us know though. Typically,
This is where when I saw this originally, I thought this movie was about wallpaper. When I saw this,
first thing.
It's a great shot.
it is a great shot when you know what it is.
Yes.
I like that they didn't do a crawl for the spinoffs.
The story.
And also,
I remember being very, very intrigued by that. I was like, how are we going to do this here? Because, that's all we're used to was the old crawl.
Also, they usually go down, not up in the stars, which I thought was really cool with this.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, the thing about these movies, to me, that I find most interesting is that we don't know any of these characters. These, a Star Wars story. So immediately you got to grab us. And this movie, I remember just the grittiness of it and seeing the set. This is a world that is not too foreign. You see the ocean. You see, this is familiar. So immediately I'm grounded. And then it's family and a little girl. I'm in, man. I'm so in. I love this movie.
They did a celebration for Rogue One. They did a crawl teaser, which never actually got released. And the teaser scrolled up and then it flattened out on screen and it zoomed into the plan stealing part of the scroll and it jittered out and jolted out and then disappeared. And that's how I thought they were going to do with this, but they just they cut it out, which just makes sense. You can't have the scroll for everything. It just doesn't work.
Well, some of it you need it though. I mean, there's just too much, there's too much to tell. You're wrapping up, you're introducing, you're doing, the last movie, episode 9, there were so many things coming at us at the same time. So it's good to set it up, but here you didn't need it. You just didn't need it.
I remember one thing I was worried about with this movie is that there was no John Williams, but Michael Giacchino is so fucking good. His score of this movie is unreal.
He retweeted Greg's tweet earlier.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Giacchino, he's the best. Man. He's the greatest. I
remember looking him up after the Medal of Honor Frontline soundtrack because he used to do video games before he ever did movies and TV shows. Right. He's so good.
JJ discovered him, I think. JJ.
Yeah, he uses him for everything.
Yeah, he's just brilliant. He's such a genius. He's probably watching right now. He's the greatest, and he actually did a short film. If you guys haven't seen it, you should see it. It's great with Ben Schwartz, and it's fantastic.
Ben Schwartz, I very recently made terrified accidentally. We did a movie generator thing, and we accidentally had got Woody Harrelson trending, or not Woody Harrelson. Who was it? Sam Rockwell. We got Sam Rockwell trending, and Ben Schwartz didn't know why, and he thought that he'd contracted corona or something. And we're like, oh nope, our bad. It was a movie generator thing. Our bad, dude.
Yeah, we'll get questions for Greg as we roll on. We're just gonna get into the groove with the movie here.
Where's this girl now? Why didn't I read for that role? Look at how great this looks.
We were talking about hair dye earlier. Ben Mendo with some hair dye for this scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's so great in this movie.
He's such a great villain. He's just he plays it off so well.
And the Death Trooper is so sick.
Rarely allowed to do his native voice too.
Yeah.
Because this is the same dude in Dark Knight Rises, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Death Troopers are sick. We recently got to see them again in Mando.
Oh yeah. Dude, Mando, so good.
Mm-hmm.
So
good. I can't wait for season 2.
We recently heard some breaking news on Mando that we're not allowed to break yet. Jeff did.
Yeah, we have some good Mando stuff to tease. It's good news.
Very good. On the screen. Come on, boys.
Yeah, why can't we tease it? Let's
casting or what? Can we get a category?
No, can't say it.
Why not?
Interviews embargoed for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't interview already. Oh, okay. I'll get that.
2 weeks.
2 weeks in quarantine.
Where did they shoot this? I wonder.
On a volcano, I guess. I don't know.
You better believe we're going to look that up. Let's see.
He's such a savage here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be the guy with a bunch of stupid questions, even though I've been in 2 of these movies. Who directed this one?
Gareth
Edwards. Yeah.
So good.
And then I think someone else came in for the reshoots they did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they restructured the whole third act of this one in reshoots. Apparently, that's what's been
never
said.
good.
Because the TIE Fighter in the market, like the previews, that scene with Jin.
Yeah,
the TIE Fighter.
there was a lot of rework stuff. This movie had a lot of bad sentiment pre-release because there were so many rumors of it being a disaster and reshoots, and no one thought it was going to be any good. And then when the reviews came out, people were like, "Oh,
For sure.
it's a good
And
Star Wars
also,
movie."
the writer of this movie, Gary Whitta, came out and said that the Vader scene was added in reshoots. So he was like, every time you hear that reshoots are a bad thing, consider that, probably one of the most beloved scenes among these new Star Wars movie among fans was a reshoot added thing. So not always bad.
Yeah, I don't think reshoots are a bad thing, and I think reshoots are something that every reshoot that I've been a part of has only helped the film, and you can't know what you need if you don't have time and a budget for reshoots. You're stupid. Why rush the process? Why not make things the best they can be? I reshot stuff for 9 in London. Then we reshot some stuff in LA, and it's not reshoot. Here's the thing: to call it reshooting means you think you're going to be reshooting certain things. It's little transitional moments and little things to clarify things, and and oftentimes it's like, okay, we need more heart, we need more levity, we need more comedy, and those are the moments you remember. So that's why reshoots are so important, to a lot of this stuff. I did a reshoot moment with Daisy and a scene that is so awesome, and it didn't make it, and I'm just so bummed. I don't know if it's on when it's on the extras, but she's in a cave and she's trying to force talk to Luke, and she's like, Master Luke, and she's talking and she's talking. She's like, please, and she just keeps talking. She doesn't hear anything, and then she hears Ray, and she turns and she goes and she turns and she says, she thinks it's him. And she goes, Luke? And I'm like, no, snap.
That's good levity right there, like you were saying.
It's great levity. And I'm like, and I'm with Rose, and I'm like, she doesn't remember my name. I mean, she goes, I know who you were. I'm like, no, you don't. You never remember. It's so funny, man.
I hope we get to see that one.
Yeah.
I know. I hope so too.
You got the Rose sequence in there though, with the talking back and forth of with
So
her.
funny.
Yeah. Carrie. And Carrie. Oh, here we go.
This was weird when this was like the weirdest thing when this came up. It's like a different font. You're just like,
Yeah.
to see a title in the middle of a Star Wars movie. It's like one of those things that, who cares? But you're you're so used to it. It's so different. But
they're able to take. Wasn't this this is the first of these standalone stories?
Mm-hmm.
So they got to establish some kind of a new, not a new look, but yeah. But I agree with you. You're like, what's going on? What's happening? Are we cutting to commercial? I think they shot all these movies on the Roger Moore stage and the in London, Pinewood Studios, and being there, man, it's just incredible, the history and everything that shoots there, and knowing that all the Star Wars movies had shot there, just absolutely incredible.
Do you know what happens to all those sets when they're done with them?
Well, the big set pieces, the big external set pieces, those are torn down, but a lot of the stuff they do keep. I mean, look at this. Like, that's all on stage. That's a stage.
Yeah, practical.
It's all practical, and it's that deep. You can't fake that. But they can't keep all that stuff. Oh, it's so crazy.
That's one of the things whenever we talked about the JJ Star Wars movies is how much we love his dedication to practical effects and like using CGI as an addition as opposed to being like the main feature.
Yeah, and that's something that he's always stressed is to being able to feel it. When you're when on 7, I remember when I first just visited set, I was in London. I was shooting in a couple days, and I went in for wardrobe fitting, and I said, I'm going to hang with JJ. So I went, and we're on stage, and it was the first time that I walked onto the Falcon, which was just unbelievable. I mean, it's, fake walls and this and that, but you're on the Falcon, man, and it's just unbelievable. And I just remember like looking around thinking everything is there's so much reality here, and there were so many characters in the resistance scenes and everything. There's so many like creatures. Whoops. Sorry about that.
That's JJ saying don't spill the beans.
Exactly. Don't tell this story. But there were so many characters. when like let's say the camera is going through the shot, you could follow any one of these characters and do a whole arc on them. You know, they're all so interesting, and the artists that go into all this stuff blows me away. Now, there's a bunch of hidden stuff. If you look on the walls, if you freeze frame, I remember when they took us through the set, there are things where like the mechanics of it, there are like screws and bolts and stuff, and they make the pattern of the Falcon, and you have to really freeze it to see it. It's like finding a hidden mouse in Disneyland or something, but they're all over the place.
This is a good comment right here. When Cassian kills this guy, you knew it was a different type of Star Wars movie.
No joke, man.
Yeah. I want to go back to a funny JJ moment. This was the first thing I remember, and I'm always curious too. Maybe you have insight on that, because I've never heard somebody say the word practical effects as much as JJ did when they had the first celebration, when they did the first ever trailer for The Force Awakens. It was like it's like they had a quota to make sure people knew, like, we're going to go back to the original, like, practical. And they brought up this character. I'm going to pull him up here. This was the first guy they showed, and we got him for like 2 seconds. Robbie's already smiling; he knows it. Baba Joe, and he had him walk out on stage. And
I remember this.
Again, it's the most I've ever heard anyone say practical effects, because they were so gung ho on making sure people knew, like, this. We're going back on the grassroots.
But when you think about it, you want to kiss the ring. You want to go back to the old school. You want to satisfy the fans. So that term just means so much to so many people. It's a textural thing, but it goes so much deeper than that. It's like respecting the way it was, you know, and the way it used to be. Because today it's so easy. I watch some of this stuff, and it just takes me out of it. Some of the movies, you know. I mean, 300. Yes, man. The whole thing, you know, is fake. It's all in front of a green screen, but it's incredible. Even the abs are fake, which was for me. But you want it to be. So that's where that term, I think. That's why they repeated it. It's easy to understand. Look at that, man.
What shot. Reminds me of Ad Astra.
Yeah.
This is an old repurposed clone tanker, I believe.
We're talking about the name of that. Was it the Juggernaut? I think that tank's called. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool though. I love the nods. When we see I'm saving, Greg, my question for you. And we've talked the last couple of days, and I've saved it, is my fan service question that I want to ask, but I'm saving it for the moment, the in-your-face fan service here, because I do have a question about fan service and putting into these movies.
Boss Alan Tudyk movie coming.
For now, it was mostly new characters for the first couple parts.
That Cassian scene we just passed, where he takes that guy out and kind of escapes, that makes me really excited for that Disney Plus show. I feel like we're going to see a lot of stuff like that.
They said it's like espionage. It's like a Jason Bourne Star Wars thing, basically.
Right. And by the way, that's the grittiness of this movie was new to Star Wars. I mean, I feel like I'm watching a Vietnam flick. I feel like I'm watching, you just don't see this type of grit and this type of fighting, like war footage and stuff. And I just love it. That's what I loved about this movie.
K2SO.
That's an all-time introduction there for K2SO. One of my favorite droids in the whole Star Wars universe, honestly, after this movie.
Tudyk, right?
Alan Tudyk, man, yep.
He is fantastic.
He's so great.
We also get something for the first time ever in Star Wars. Well, first of all, you hear the Rebel music there. Doesn't get any better than that. We had something for the first time in this movie. We had subtitles for the like location tags for all the planets.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
I remember the beginning of this movie when the press got the first screenings, they didn't get a screening initially. They got the first 10 minutes. And one of the things that came out was that the beginning was a lot like the opening of Guardians of the Galaxy. And it was because of that. It was like planet, and like name. It was basically the same thing.
Yeah. It also saves the actors from laying a lot of pipe. I mean, I'm always usually that guy. You know, in Alias, I don't know if you guys remember that show, but I mean, in Alias, a lot of times I was that guy, and I was like, okay, here we go. His name is Abu Nebe. He's part of an old, and I'm just laying it all out, you know.
The exposition.
Someone's got to do it.
We are about to get Space Jimmy Smits.
Yeah, there's some fan service in this movie that gets flack, which we'll talk about, but I like them putting Mon Mothma and Jimmy Smits in this. It's such a good, like, and even those Rebel panels with the green lines, the aqua lines, it's just so original trilogy, brings you right to that aesthetic.
Yeah. Look at this, man. Every shot, you can just see it on the storyboard. So beautiful, so well thought out. Who's the cinematographer here, too? That's just so beautiful.
He's actually the same guy that I forget his name, but he does The Mandalorian as well.
Mm.
Which makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Very similar vibes.
There's a bar in LA called Scum and Villainy. And you go in there. My buddy JC owns it, and it's just so much fun. Everyone's dressed up and all that. And it looks a lot like this, you know.
I was just about to bring Scum and Villainy up because that first room you walk into has these panels in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, have you been there lately?
So I went there, I guess, when Mark Hamill got his star on the Walk of Fame. I went out there that week, and when it was Kevin Smith's first show after the heart attack, actually, his first live show I went to there.
Okay. I think since then they've turned that first room into Star Trek.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What a betrayal.
You're on the bridge. What?
What a betrayal to the Star Wars fans that love that.
Exactly. So it's sort of both. I think it's also a great way to say to the Star Wars people, no, this isn't a Star Wars bar. What are you talking? Don't sue us.
Yeah, true.
You know, but it's really cool. And you know, having been in both franchises,
not to brag,
I'm alive.
Good for you.
See, I've been trying to get I've been a Star Wars and Star Trek guy forever, but Robbie doesn't like Star Trek, and I've been trying to get him into it for a while.
Well, I've seen all the Star Trek movies, and I truly enjoy the Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
I just can't go all the way in on the show because it feels like I'm betraying Star Wars.
Also, I'm drawing the line. I don't even do the movies.
Dude, they're not mutually exclusive. I mean,
it feels like WWF and WCW. I don't know.
Is it really?
I love both, man. I watch both religiously. Like The Next Generation, I could watch the entire thing right now and start like a whole rewatch. I love that show.
Well, that's my thing. Where would I get into Star Trek if I wanted to watch now? You start at The Next Generation?
I mean, you could do the original series, but I think honestly, The Next Generation, everything that happens in that show has a modern implication, and it feels like so ahead of its time when you start watching it. I honestly would start there.
Yeah,
maybe.
So the same cinematographer who's doing this is doing Dune, by the way, with Denis Villeneuve.
Oh,
wait, yeah, that's right. No
Freaky Deacons feeling to it. I gotta say, it is, and I said it before about the Falcon, but the Falcon was on a stage, and we were walking into the inside of the Falcon, and this is obviously on a stage here, but when the first, or maybe this isn't, the first time that you get to an area where all of these X-Wings and all these, we shot at a place called Black Park. If you remember in 9, my helmet is thrown to me, and we're preparing, and the camera follows. All those ships are there, man. Not the ones that are flying, but it's so you are immersed. You know, I hate it's not practical, but it is practical. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere you look, you're like, I'm here. This is it. I'm on a planet. I'm no longer on Earth.
That shot while Poe is giving that speech and it's going through the whole Resistance base is such an awesome pump up scene. It's so good in 7 too, when Poe and Finn pass each other and they give each other that look like, oh shit,
and
here we go.
They do the grip thing.
Yeah.
Cool guy grip.
JJ nails that. It fires me up every time.
We have an X-Wing handshake that never made it into the movie, and Oscar and I we tried so desperately to make it happen. to the point where we do it at the end of a scene, we button it or we'd start the scene and JJ would just be on a loudspeaker, just be like, come on, are you fucking kidding me? And it's just kind of a, hey, what's up? And then I point up there, he points up there, and we make a
nice.
It's so good. So I got something for you guys. I prepare an A-Wing, right? And I crash in an X-Wing. Explain that.
Should have gone in the A-Wing. Maybe you would have made it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
For sure.
So when did you find out that you were going to crash? Did JJ break the news to you? Listen, Snap's not going to make it out of this war alive.
Great. That's a great question. So JJ calls me and says, I got good news and I got better news. And I said, okay. And he goes, good news is I'm doing episode 9. And I was like, oh shit, this is amazing. This is fantastic. And I was so happy for him. We talked about the commitment and everything. And he was just so into it and everything was great. And then I forgot about the better news. I'm like, what's the better news? And he goes, Snap's back. And I was like, what? Because I wasn't in 8, dude. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not greedy. I was so honored, so happy. I just want to be on set with JJ. We've known each other since we were 5, or 4 or whatever. He's my oldest, dearest friend, my brother. So But I wanted to be an 8. I really wanted to be in that movie. And, they just made choices and I wasn't in it. So then when I heard about being in that movie, so then he's we talk all the time and he's telling me, oh, we got some great stuff. We're talking about, look at that character. So good. He's
Two
like
Tubes. I think his name is Two Tubes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 Tubes?
Two Tubes, yeah.
That's so funny.
Self-explanatory.
Anyway, sorry. Continue.
I went to the Laker game and 2 Chainz walked in and he was walking in, and everybody's staring at him and I'm standing on the floor. We didn't have floor seats, but we're standing there on the floor. And my son's standing there and he's like, oh, Dad, there's 2 Chainz. And I go, yo, what's up, Chainz? And he
Oh boy. I can't even imagine your son's face.
yeah, a guy that looks like this. He's going, what's up, Chainz? And he's looking at me like, yeah, he's like, is that my lawyer? Is that my accountant?
Next time you see him, ask him if they based 2 Tubes off him from Rogue One. He'll probably for sure know what that is.
I wish that story ended with 2 Chainz going, "What's up, Snap?"
Yep.
I'm going to be called 2 Chins. Is that all right? Go away, 2 Chins. So anyway, during the writing process, JJ, he'd call me and I go, how's it going? He's like, oh, it's going great. Hey, I got to talk to you about something. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, we're thinking about, I'm thinking about killing you off. And I'm like, what? Oh no. I mean, immediately and then this is before nothing registers except for I'm dying in a Star Wars movie. And then I talked to him and I just trusted him. He's brilliant. He's my best friend. He said, it's going to be a great moment. I'm definitely going to beef up stuff prior to even little stuff in these movies. Little goes a long way. And and then he calls me later, a couple months later, and he goes, nah, you're going to make it. You're going to make it. And then we had this argument or this discussion. I said, are you ever going to do another Star Wars movie? He goes, there's not going to be. This is it. I'm ending it. I wasn't supposed to do this movie. I'm doing it. And so I said, okay, as long as you're not going, this is for me, it's all about being with him and my love of Star Wars. And I've had enough of that. So I said, whatever you do for me, this is great. And then it went back and forth another couple times. And at that point I was like, just don't even fucking tell me. Like, I can't take this roller coaster.
You had a bit like in the previews for it, in the marketing for it though, like that scene pops out to me big time of Poe screaming.
I know.
Like, who is that? Who is this? Is that Leia dying or what is it? And then
right.
There you go.
And if you remember, they show Boyega prior to that. And even though he's not a pilot, they show Boyega, then they show him, and then he's like, and then I crash.
Yeah.
And I remember, so I'm watching, it was a game. I think it was a Laker game or something. It would have been football, I think, or something. And I called JJ and I go, hey, is that me? And he's like, yeah, that's you. Because when you're shooting, and I'm doing a lot of I apologize. I'm like rambling. I'm so excited to be with you guys. When you're in the cockpit, right? Oh, what's up, KenJac? Where are you? You're not in the cockpit anymore. What happened?
I had to step out for a little bit. Better Wi-Fi reception, to be honest.
Oh, okay. When you're in the cockpit, I'm on this gimbal, and I'm like riding a bull, and I'm up in this thing, and they're shooting me. The camera's locked in and everything, and I'm just trying to hold on. And then I hear, I got your back, Poe. And I'm like, I got your back, Poe. I got your back, Poe. I'm saying it any different variety of ways, faster, slower, whatever. They go through that list of stuff. And then they go, okay, we need you to say all these lines. I've been hit. I'm going down. Say goodbye. Oh no. And I said, I'm not going to say any of those lines. I don't want to say them. And the second unit director calls over to JJ, because it was on second unit, calls over and goes, Jay, he won't say, he won't say any of his lines. And he goes, well, if you won't say it, this is on 7. If you won't say it, he won't say it. And that's how I knew I was not going to die. I just did not want to die, man. Too many people.
Yeah, you're like, there's no way I could die. I didn't say any of those lines. That's fantastic.
And in 8, everybody dies in 8. So I was kind of happy at the end when
it's like the whole resistance gets wiped out. And then didn't they make like a comic book of where Snap and the Blue Squadron was during 8?
Yes. The Poe Dameron, what's the series called? What's it called?
I think it's Aftermath.
Aftermath, yeah. Yeah, they do go into that story. I'm hoping that, wouldn't it be cool if Disney Plus did a Resistance Pilots kind of like Chips, but or Top Gun of the Resistance pilot? I think that would be such a great series.
We were just talking about how much we love X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Me and Clem were talking about how we used to play that nonstop.
So good.
But before we get too far off Tarkin, we gotta get thoughts on Tarkin.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, obviously, Peter Cushing. They did show, and a lot of people said in the comments, the the miniature shots are made to look miniatures. The Star Destroyers are fucking amazing. Same with the Death Star. But I never had a problem with the Peter Cushing CGI in this movie. Where did everyone land on that? Because and you do get it again in the end with Carrie Fisher as well with Leia. The Tarkin never really bothered me.
I think they both look fantastic. And I even have done a test with people that aren't big Star Wars fans that don't know. I'll show them this movie and I won't say anything about it. And then at the end, I'll be like, did you see Tarkin, that character? He was CGI the whole time. And it always passes the eye test for them. People are like, what? So I think if maybe you could spot little lighting things here and there. But if you don't, I think it really works. And I think it works with Carrie at the end too.
I kind of judge not the full thing, but these movies, I'm always like, how many times do I look to my dad in the theater and I'm like, oh shit, that was one of those moments when it first popped up. I was like, what? They're doing this. So I thought it was really cool.
I wonder how long it took them to find someone with cheekbones high enough to replicate him for mocap. Because that motherfucker had some high ass cheekbones.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I can speak to Carrie when we shot, the scene. First of all, it was a jigsaw puzzle. JJ talks about how he looked back. They looked back at the scenes with Carrie and they said, okay, these lines can still be stuff they didn't use, scenes that were cut out. Well, we can use that. My first introduction to Carrie, my first introduction to Star Wars was a scene with Carrie, and she's opposite me, and it's over my shoulder to her, and I'm standing there, so I'm right by the matte box of the camera right here, and I'm doing my scene, and then she's supposed to walk off. So she's like, "Snap, would you think, whatever she says," and she walks up, and I'm like, I can't believe where I am right now. Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, is giving me a beatdown. This is the greatest thing ever. And she's supposed to walk off camera and right camera. And instead she walks right up to me and she wraps her arms around me and grabs my ass.
Oh,
this is the greatest thing in the world. And this is, guys, literally you have to put yourself in my shoes. I'm the same as you. I love Star Wars. So it was absolutely incredible. And JJ just walks up to me and he goes, "Welcome to Star Wars, my friend." So I love Carrie. I have so many moments with her and with Billy, her daughter, and her dog, and I loved her, and I love her, and I'll never not love her. She's just one of those incredible people you work with. You should be intimidated. She immediately drops that by grabbing your ass or doing something like that, and immediately but when we had to shoot the stuff with her, they had this wonderful actress who had the same build as her, and they made a mask. They had a mask on 8 that they made of Carrie. They did an actual mask for a scene. So they used that same mold and they made a mask for this actress and they put it on her face. And I remember coming out of our trailer, that was not the face, but they
we'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to get back to that scene in a minute.
Okay. Oh God, this would have been funny if I pulled it out. Who's the guy? Mickey Rourke? Was that Mickey Rourke?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's pretty strikingly similar, actually.
Yeah. I remember I'm in my trailer, and then Billy calls me in, and we sat together, and it was really emotional, really, really hard. Imagine your mom passes away, your grandmother passes away, and then you've got to walk on the stage and see someone who, with a mask and the great way that prosthetics are done, looks exactly like the woman who raised you. It was crazy. So we walked on the stage, and I can't say what I said to her, but I did say something so off color as we're standing there looking at her. And all of a sudden, Billy starts laughing. I'll tell you guys off stream, but
that's good. I'll get the exclusive.
It is bad. I'm notorious. I'm notorious. I don't care. And Carrie would have appreciated it. I know she was there in spirit.
Definitely, yeah.
And Billy starts laughing. Everyone's waiting for Billy. What's her reaction going to be? This is crazy. It was one of those moments. And she starts busting up so much. And JJ looks at me, and I'm like, we're good. And it was really crazy and hard, but I to get back the longest winded answer ever, it worked so well that way. And it wasn't digital. This was not, I think in this movie, this was digital, dude. I don't, so that's where the seams here and here, you hope that it works. And I didn't have a problem. I really didn't have a problem at all. This bothered me more than anything, those contact lenses. But in ours, it was pretty seamless because they actually used the footage of her.
Question I have. So let's go back to the scene we just missed. Your thoughts on this, because there was a lot of fan service in this movie, and not all fan service is bad. I'm not saying that, but some of it's a little more. Some fan service is a little more in your face than others. Having old pig nose Dr. Evasian or whatever, the I don't like you, or like I don't like you either guy from A New Hope, to have them in this is obviously very in your face, because it's just characters from the original. They're saying the same line, just spitting it out. Like what is the process of going through it? Because especially episode 9 had a lot of things, a lot of callbacks, a lot of references. I mean, you have Wedge for the first time, just like being Wedge. Like, how hard is it to toe that line? Do you know like what JJ's process was, especially for him, of like, I gotta please the fans, but don't distract too much from the movie?
I know it is a tough line to balance on, but when you think about it, like the critics, if you remember the first biggest criticism was, he's just pandering to the fans over and over again. Dude, Star Wars is all about that. He's ending 3 trilogies. Like, that should be the headline that says, go see the movie. He panders to us. Like, I don't know why that's a bad thing. And you have to wrap up all these characters. You have to service them. You got to satisfy the audience. Lando you bring back, who to me is like a treasured. I just love him so much. So I was upset when I heard that, and I remember talking to, and JJ's like, don't worry about it. What are you going to do? You're not going to be able to please everyone. But that criticism right off the top, I was like, give me a break, man. That's why I enjoyed the movie so much. And most of that fan service was at the end. It was like this montage of like, whose voice is that? And blah, 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 and all that, So I didn't mind it at all. I loved it.
It is always interesting, just the ways they do it. And Easter eggs too. Like we have such an Easter egg culture with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and this, and I had like Mandalorian. They've done Favreau and Filoni did a fucking insane job at putting little things in all their shows and their scenes. Even like Clone Wars, Filoni's been putting the original Kenner action figure, like versions of those characters in the background. It's just like the attention to detail is nuts. And maybe it goes far sometimes, but.
Dude, I've done 2 movies where the stories and the characters were all about fan service. That's actually how you get your way through the movie. I did a movie called End of the World for Sci-Fi, where I ran a video store, and because of the apocalyptic movies that I was into and I love so much, I knew how to save the actual planet when it was melting and coming down, which is so weird that we're in this time right now where we are. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. It's just obviously is. We all know.
Has it helped you prepare at all?
No, if I make another cheese omelet, this is Groundhog Day, dude. It's unbelievable. Every day is the same. I actually put jeans on for you guys today. Can you?
Oh, wow.
I didn't.
The hell did you do?
Yeah. My wife, I woke up and Elizabeth was like, why are you dressed up? I'm wearing jeans. And she's asking why. That's why, I haven't taken off my pajamas.
I think Clem has a Nike like tech hoodie on. I think he's the most dressed up of us right now. Maybe you were the most.
We got the flannel on.
I just finished a movie they announced today on Deadline that's coming out called Max Reload and the Nether Blasters. And it's a throwback. I love throwbacks.
With Kevin Smith.
Yes, Kevin Smith.
Unreal.
I produce it, and I'm in it. And these 2 guys, Scott and Jeremy in Arizona, they're incredible filmmakers. And it's all about gaming, retro film. There's so many references in it. It's all fan service. It's so much fun, man. And I'm all about that. So did it bother any of you guys, all the fan service references in these movies?
I think I'm probably the most lenient with it all. I like all the fan service. I think to the moments where I first watch it in the theater and the crowd like cheers, that's what I live for. Like, that's Star Wars, like all enjoying, oh my God, this is what we all love together. I'm cool with the fan service. I think sometimes it gets a little like the, I don't like you guy in this. I can appreciate where people go, okay, that's a little on the nose, but on the pig nose, if you will.
Yeah.
But I'm with it. I like the fan service.
I think like loaded up with
like in a way.
Go ahead, Joey.
No, I just like in a way, I mean, to what you were talking about too, Greg, is just like, when you get to this point of 30, 40 years, those kind of on the nose fan service things are just kind of like a little wink and a nod. And we're all just like, okay, this is good. You know what I mean? Like, after not long. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like well do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not for everyone. There are so many things to service and so many moments that people love. I mean, even from running and shooting without looking, and it's all an homage to a previous moment, and some of it thematically ties characters together, family wise, and that the force and everything. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I think the more the better, as long as it's not gratuitous. And
it's the stuff that distracts. I think there's a couple moments in this one I've always been critical of. Same with Solo. But for the most part, I mean, look, we're all fucking nerds. I mean, I'm sitting in a room of action figures, so I can appreciate it. By the way, shout out to Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen, absolute fucking badass.
I was just about to say, he's so good in this scene, this whole movie.
Dude, you got to watch all the Ip Mans are on Netflix. You got to watch them. They're incredible. Some of the best action movies.
So good. What's the biggest bust or moment that someone caught you just nerding? That they were like you were like, oh, like someone catching you in a room full of action figures, or because I have a classic one.
Right, I know what Robbie's is. It's probably Avengers Endgame, right? That was like the ultimate nerd moment of all time, probably.
Refresh
just how much I cried.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was rough. Yeah, people tried to give me some shit over that, but Chris Evans came out today, said he cried 6 times in the final.
Yeah.
You gonna give Captain America shit for crying? I don't think so.
Rob, did you cry at Celebration last year after the first?
Yeah, I mean, I've cried at all the trailers. Is my thing. Like even the Chewie We're Home. Oh my god,
the trailer to The Force Awakens is one of the best trailers I think I've ever seen ever. It is so fantastically done.
Yeah.
The Monday Night Football one was
so good,
unbelievable. I have like a shelf in my apartment full of Star Wars toys and action figures. And
show off your tattoo, Robbie.
I have. Yeah, I got the lightsaber. Oop, there you go.
Oh, dude, come on.
There it is.
Luke's favorite.
So cool.
I have to warn people. I also have a Star Wars shower curtain. So like if someone is over my apartment, hypothetically, I always have to be like, just to warn you, before you go in the bathroom, you're going to see a lot of action figures and a Star Wars shower curtain.
I have that same tattoo on my penis.
Can't show it on stream right now.
But most of the time it looks like R2. It's weird.
Rob, Mark Hamill held that tattoo, held the art.
Wow.
Held it while it was fresh too and healing, so his DNA is probably still trapped in there.
Did he hold it like he was holding a lightsaber?
Oh yeah, big time.
So cool. Come on. I remember. So I'm sitting in the airport, and no one was supposed to know that he was a 9, and we're sitting at the airport together in the lounge, Virgin Lounge, and we're sitting there waiting for our plane, and I didn't know he was going to see the plane, and he he's in this like cubby. And someone comes by and they're like, "Hey, Greg, hey, man, blah, blah, blah." Really nice guy." And he starts talking to me and he's like, "You're here for Star Wars, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And and he just kind of looked and he's just like freaking out, absolutely freaking out that Mark's sitting there. And then all of a sudden you hear, "Will Mr. Mark Hamill please come up to the front desk, Mark Hamill?" And I'm like, you got to live your life. And if people are smart, they can figure shit out. But it was like that moment was great. But the nerd moment that I have was right before the Northridge earthquake, the big earthquake. My wife and I are in our apartment. And it was before the earthquake. I didn't even tie it to earthquake, but we heard, we would hear this like this rumble. And we were on the second floor and Elizabeth's like, "That's weird. Did you feel that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden we heard same thing. And like, what is going on? And then we heard like cheering. And I realized that there's this dude that I know that lives a couple apartments down. And he's got this room and he's putting the THX thing on. It's like, all his buddies are listening to that over and over and over again with this new sound system and cheering over and over again. And I go down because I'm supposed to check it out. And she's like, "God, you've been down there a long time." I'm like, "It was amazing." Like I went down to tell him to be quiet, and I ended up in there going, "Yes!"
That's so cool.
Oh
here's the picture of Robbie with Mark.
Oh yeah,
awesome!
It's amazing.
He's the greatest. KenJac, you meet him at Celebration?
No, I wish, man. fucking. I mean, that's like you want to talk about meeting your idols. That guy, I think I would like piss my pants meeting. I think my one nerd out story was me and Jeff. We interviewed Brendan Fraser once, and like I'm just sitting there and I'm like having a damn near anxiety attack, and he doesn't understand why. He's like, I'm Brendan Fraser, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. You're me and Jeff's essentially like Jesus Christ. Like we're like walking up and like giving him hugs and stuff. Like, oh my god, I can't believe we finally get to meet you. And he's like, what? Like, what's the big deal?
That's so good.
This was probably mine. I've had I got to meet Mark once very briefly, and like I don't know, like my last time, I don't get starstruck off, and I almost shit my pants because like that's like my hero growing up. It's Mark Hamill. It's Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker. Oh yeah, come on.
Second time, way more prepared. One because I had to help Robbie meet him, so I had to be focused up anyway. So whatever, Rob meets him, but afterwards I got to shoot a video with Mark where he talks about old Luke Skywalker toys, and somebody at work was like, do you need us to order Luke toys? I'm like, no. And I actually got him to touch and play with like my Luke toys from when I was a kid. And so he's like showing my Luke toy, like playing with it. He's got like the gun and everything. And I'm like, if I can fucking tell it was a 7-year-old me when the special editions re-release that, the Luke is going to play with that toy one day. He's going to do his own like fake scene. It was one of the most fucking surreal things.
Dude, imagine you're on the bridge or whatever we call it, Resistance Base and the Rebel Base, and there's that moment in 7. You can find a photo of it. I should have sent it to you. You could pull it up, but it's the first time you kind of meet me, and Oscar goes, snap went off for reconnaissance, and then I go, okay, and I kind of tell everybody what just happened. That moment, everyone is in that scene, and we have the same ish moment. In 9, where we were under the Falcon, we're all planning what we're going to do. And that's like 300 people. And then I also, I've had these great moments when Carrie dies and I'm standing over her body. I mean, like, what am I doing here? Insane. But that moment in 7, and I have the photo of it. I don't have it here, but it's just, and the first time we shot that, 3, and Harrison's right there, and JJ walks up to me. He cut, and he's like, "Good, everybody. That was really great. Let's move the camera over here, whatever." And he comes up to me and he goes, "Dude, you're watching the movie. I can see you watching." and you put yourself in my shoes, though. I was slack-jawed. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. Carrie's there, and everybody's just amazing to be.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Greg. You mentioned a lot about Carrie, but between Harrison Ford, Billy D. Williams, who was like the more like, holy shit! I know they're both like that, but I mean, could you one of them?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Harrison Ford, just because he also, well, there's another connection. Just he has a relative who has epilepsy. My oldest son has epilepsy, so we connected on that level and talked stuff. And immediately that breaks. I don't care who you are, you're talking about something real and something deep and people you care about. But more than before that happened, he's. Who's cooler than that? I mean, I worked with Al Pacino this year. Bradley Cooper's an old friend of mine. Lady Gaga I worked with in Stars Born. I'm dropping a lot of names. If my Wi-Fi goes weird, it's because I'm just dropping all these names. but I just, all the movies, all the characters, he just is effortless. It's and it's hard to do what he does. He has it more than anybody else I've ever met. I just worked another guy who has it. Just has it. They have it. They don't have to do anything, and he's got it in spades. And also just so generous on set and such a pro. And I don't know, that to me, he was like one of those that I was like, please be cool, because careful. You don't want to. You meet your heroes and they disappoint you.
Yeah.
And are they going to let you fall? Are they the type of people that? I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, but I'm the supporting guy. I'm that guy, and I'm happy to be that guy. I've only had a couple opportunities, Heroes and others, where I'm more out front. You don't know how they're going to treat the crew and the lesser actors and stuff. 90% of the people do treat everybody equally, but sometimes you come across a dick. And he is just the best. Oh,
you just got you got a basketball shout out in the chat too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Basketball.
Come on, man. I won't even. What team was I on? You guys remember?
Oh, I can't name that.
Oh, yes, you can.
I always just want to say Milwaukee.
Almost. I was an informant.
Fuck.
Okay.
The New Jersey Informants.
New Jersey
Oh,
Informants.
shit.
Okay.
I should have got that jersey.
I remember working on that movie, and Trey and Matt, I was like, you guys are the worst actors I've ever worked with. They're the funniest, most brilliant guys in the world. And I just remember, God, this movie is so corny.
I mean,
so bad.
Like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I finally saw Book of Mormon, and it legitimately is probably the hardest. It, honest to God, might be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was in tears start to finish. If you ever get a chance, I mean, fuck, we can't even leave our apartments. But if you ever come to New York, you can see Book of Mormon.
Oh, you have to. It's one of the best shows. I don't even want to say best musicals. It is. Josh Gad, dude. I saw Josh Gad in the.
Oh,
in that
wow.
show. How do those guys stay? You guys are the same way, but you guys are just being you, and it's constantly funny. There's so many great characters. My boys, Ben. Yeah, I've talked about Ben with you a bunch, Jeff. But Ben and Sam and Jake, they're stoolies. They love all this stuff. But imagine creating that material. Not that material. Creating comedy over and over and over, and that consistently funny, and then doing a musical. I mean, the American. Yeah.
Team America, World Police.
Team America.
Yeah.
What? So good, man. So good. Those guys are incredible. Absolutely.
Speaking of incredible, this scene right here, the performance by Felicity and her father, awesome.
Mads Mikkelsen, man, I love him so much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also, really underrated scene. And we're about to see a little that guys right here on that bridge is Ryan Johnson.
Right.
What? Right. Yeah.
Yeah, a little cameo. Ryan Johnson's one of the guys on the Death Star bridge without the railing.
No railing.
That was him.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I think JJ puts himself in stuff. I never look for it. I don't think he.
Well, he's got the voice of Dio in 9, right?
Yeah,
that's right. He also he always puts the name Kelvin in almost everything, and that's his grandmother's maiden name. Was Kelvin.
I actually didn't know that, but now that makes sense because now I can think of it in Star Wars. I can think of it in Star Trek.
Oh, and everything.
Yeah, Cloverfield too.
Cloverfield. Yeah. Are you going down my credits? Are those my credits?
I'm glad we finally stopped that saga, by the way, where every mysterious movie coming out in Hollywood, where everyone would go, is it a Cloverfield movie?
No, I'm not glad. I'm all in on the Cloververse still. I'm still with it.
Where everything was, is it a Cloverfield movie? It's like...
Dude, you understand who I came up with? I mean, I came up with these guys, my group of kids. I mean, JJ and I were making movies when we were 12, and he was as brilliant then as he is now. He knew everything. He knew editing, knew music, he was a great artist. He's just like a Renaissance. It was disgusting. And I loved every minute of it. And I would act in these movies, and we were on Kimmel, and they showed one of the movies that we were in. And Jimmy was like, is that Grunny? Is that a little Greg Grunberg? I mean, we've been doing this forever. And the other guy that was right there with us was Matt Reeves. And it was JJ and Matt and another guy named Mark Anderson and Larry Fong, the brilliant cinematographer, Larry Fong, and director. I mean, there's so many guys. Brian Burke, I've known Berkey forever. He produced a lot of the Star Wars, everything that JJ did. It's just weird. I don't know if you guys are still friends with people that you've been friends with, since you're 5, but it's the luckiest thing in the world when you get that up and you still have that friendship.
We've been super pumped up for the Matt Reeves Batman for some time now.
Yeah,
I think it looks great.
Yeah.
Everything they've released looks really, really cool. We're all big Pattinson guys too. Pattinson's incredible. So,
dude, what a great choice, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're raving about The Lighthouse.
We've
been raving about The Lighthouse recently too when that came out.
Yeah.
We were in John Wick, Chapter 3. Robbie, myself, KenJac, and I ran to the bathroom, and I'm coming back from the bathroom, and I'm like, shit, I gotta check. Like, you never know what's coming down the wire, movie news. And whenever I do that bathroom check with my phone, it's never anything. Like, I never have to stop and put some on a lights, camera, pod. I look it up and I see Robert Pattinson cast as Batman. I'm like, motherfucker. And we're like an hour into the movie. And I ran in and I lead to Robbie and go, by the, because Robbie's good. Like, he's the guy to blog it. I'm like, Robbie, they cast Pattinson as Batman. I'm like, it's like, fuck. He waited.
I think I wrote the blog on my phone. I think I just turned my brightness down. We were in the last row. I was like, fuck it. All right, I'm going to write this blog. I'm a big fan of this choice.
Blog doesn't speak. You have to get Pattinson out. Yeah.
You should have told Robbie that you were standing at the urinal and scribbled on the wall. It said, Pattinson.
He's back.
I love a guy like that. There are few actors where you don't know what's going to happen. Like you put them in a scene and their face is not telling you immediately what's going on. I'm not one of those guys. Like I know I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm that guy. There's always a place for that guy too. But like Bradley Cooper, man, you look at that face and you go, is he going to kill me? Is he going to make fun of me? Is he going to laugh with me? Am I going to fall in love with him? Pattinson's the same. He's just mysterious and so interesting. And it's such a good choice. I can't wait. Just can't wait. And Matt is one of the best filmmakers around. I mean, I've known him, like I said, forever. His
Planet of the Apes movies are great.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Incredible.
So good, yeah.
And Chernin movies. Shout out Chernin.
Yeah, shout out to Chernin.
Pump the company dollar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pump the company.
The Orson Krennic fits are so sick in this. Like, it's that military issue, the cape.
This is an unbelievable backstabbing by Tarkin here, too.
That's a little computery right there.
That is. I was about to
Look at
say.
this. Look at this. This is come on. Now that we're looking at it with a microscope, you know.
You
Yeah,
gotta keep them in the dark.
definitely.
It's a little video game. I'm looking at it in a little bit.
It's a tough franchise and a tight line to walk, though.
I'll tell you what, though. It's better than Revenge of the Sith Tarkin.
Yes.
Revenge of the Sith Tarkin is scary looking.
Yep.
I'm afraid the recent security breaches have laid bare your inadequacies as a military director. You think this pilot acted alone? He was dispatched.
We're up all the time for folks who need it.
See the badge he's wearing?
Mhm.
Doesn't that look like it's been altered digitally? Isn't it? Oh no, it's not moving. So that's the only thing that I stole from Star Wars. I couldn't steal anything else. This helmet you see in back of me, I bought that at Star Wars. Truth be told, I still would love to get my helmet. That's the one thing I want to pass on to my kids. But that badge, that's like the V and the you know, I ripped it off. I put it in my pocket. Then we did reshoots. I ripped it off, put it in my pocket. I have 3 of them. I've got 3 boys. Now it's fair.
That's
But
awesome.
other than that, man, I have to get a DUI if I want to get an orange jumpsuit.
Helmet, and I feel like that's you. Why can't you get your hands on that?
Because now they know that everything is valuable. You know, Disney is not stupid, and they're going to make. You know, they have when the movie came out, they had a thing at the theater on Hollywood Boulevard. They have they'll have a traveling show. They'll put even the new ride at Disneyland. They have the wardrobe. They have like a few of the flight suits and stuff. And I don't know. I doubt they put the original there where someone could throw chocolate, ice cream on it or something. But they know the value of that stuff, man. All the weapons, everything. There's a buddy of mine named James Commissar who owns everything from TV. Everything, every Star Wars piece of wardrobe, and if you look him up, James Commissar, Forbes, he's got the biggest collection of TV memorabilia and everything. He's got everything. And he knew before anybody else, 25 years ago, he started collecting that stuff. And it was, I'll tell you a funny story. I had an audition at CBS Radford in LA, and I'm on the lot and I'm about to go into my audition. And I look over this way and these guys are breaking down this wall, a fake wall, and they're just breaking it down, breaking the wood down, throwing it into the thing. And I see on the back, it says monks. It was a wall from Seinfeld, and they're just throwing it away. Like, can you imagine having the diner? It's just some things get saved, some things don't. It's right place, right time.
That's crazy.
Your helmet definitely got shipped straight to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think. I mean, I hope so. I hope it's not being used upside down for guacamole.
Is sweeping the back room right now, wearing it in character.
That's right. Dude, I could put that on, and hopefully that would I could go shopping at the market with that on. I don't want to wear one of those masks. I want to wear my helmet.
Yeah, really.
Clem is with me. Clem also used to work for Disney. Technically, I wish I would have had my free Disney tickets now. Like, I wish. Where was fucking Star Wars Land when we had a never-ending book of Disney tickets? Now it's like you gotta pay half your fortune to even go.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
I got 2 kids now, 5 and 2. So in a year or 2, we're going to take them. And I'm cashing in on every single favor I did for like friends that were temps at the time or contract that couldn't get tickets. And you had like your extras, you give it to them. I'm cashing in all the favors I gave. Like,
you have to do that. You gotta find a way. You gotta find a way to get a tour guide. They've given me a tour when I was on Alias. That was a Disney show. Felicity was a Disney show, and obviously Star Wars. But when I go to have somebody walk, one of those people with the plaid vests, because you get to go in the exits, you get to get on the ride, and then if they know, sometimes you come back around, and the person running the ride's like, you wanna woo-hoo, go again? And my kids think that is the coolest thing, to be able to just stay on the ride and keep going. Oh, dude, nothing better.
Imagine being able to do like a supermarket sweep at the Lucas Ranch.
Oh my God.
I would be like an ant carrying 500 times my body weight worth of merch out of that place.
Exactly.
Well, Kevin Smith has one of the best stories. He got married on Skywalker Ranch. He requested permission. I think he was mixing sound for Dogma. And he said he requested permission. He was like, listen, my wife is pregnant. We're going to do a very small thing just with a minister. Can we do it here? And they were like, absolutely not. So he just showed up and did it anyway. They did it real quick and got out of there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Oh, I love it.
So, Greg, you're obviously a lifelong Star Wars fan. You and JJ both. So, do you remember like what the first piece of story thread he told you about The Force Awakens was that made you be like, "Oh shit, that's going to be awesome"?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. That is such a good question. I honestly don't. I don't want to make something up that didn't really happen.
He showed you a sketch of Unkar Plutt, and you're like, "I'm in."
Yeah, exactly. God, I don't remember. I don't
like.
remember.
Is JJ bouncing ideas off you when he's writing? Is he like knowing you're a fan, knowing he trusts your opinion on things?
Well, okay, so TV stuff, yes, every step of the way. I remember when he he was like, so I'm doing this thing called Lost, and when he told me about it, I'm like, Gilligan's Island? What are you doing? Like, what? I mean, what is this show? And he's like, no, it's gonna be fun. Like he did. We do talk all the time about stuff, and he'll be like, let me run something by you, like a scene or whatever. I remember with Star Wars, though, to be honest, especially 9, I knew nothing. I didn't want to know anything. But with 7, here I'll tell you more than that was working on the movies and him showing me dailies from previous days.
Oh yeah,
and that just blew my mind, because a lot of this stuff, like you'd see, just to be all blue, right, with markers, and you're like, okay, they're going to be fixed. That's special effects stuff. But there was and again, I hate to use practical effects, but there were so many things that looked finished immediately. Like I just because obviously Mary Jo's cutting and she's getting the editors are getting stuff cut together, so he would cut stuff together and see what he's missing in pieces and give them notes. But that was the most exciting thing for me, is seeing stuff. And then it got to a point where I'm like, I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to see anymore, because it's going to spoil. I'm such a fan, man. I don't want to see it, and then you don't know how, like, what takes. And I, JJ and I have the same sensibility, so I do trust him in that way. But even that scene that I have, that's with Carrie, I mean, I did so many different variations of that. And then this moment, oh my God. So let me talk about this moment with Claude.
I'll give him the large screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hit you up, because you told us before Robbie came on, and Robbie fucking loves Claude.
I'm a huge Claude guy.
Not good enough.
Okay, so Claude is amazing, and in the extras, I think they probably do have a long scene where they're flying the Falcon and they're trying to do the thing, and Claude is like in back of them, and it's almost like Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. You're like, who is that dude? What's going on? Because right now you just pass Claude and he's working on something in the ship, and they just pass him. So prior to the working on something, they had that whole scene, but they never explained who he was. And then they get off the ship, and we're putting out fires. That scene is there the first time they land, and they're putting out fires and stuff. And you see me walking around in the background, and then JJ's like, I want to get a thing. So Greg, stand there, and then Claude is there, and then so they cut to me, and in the middle of all this craziness, they cut to me, and I'm like, hey, who's this? It's the question that everybody in the audience is. So when I did that, JJ was laughing so hard, he literally fell to the ground. He couldn't get up. During they're rolling, and Oscar said, give me your camera, and he's taking pictures of me with Claude and everything, and that got cut out. And I mean, dude, just such a great moment. I hope it's in the extras. And again, it's one line. It's so easy.
Yeah.
The other equivalent line of that is in the extras for 7 is when we come in and save Boyega, that's a surprise attack. Well, it wasn't always a surprise attack. That was created in edit and later, just in the order of things. So they show us taking off to save him. Well, if you show us taking off, it's not a surprise attack. So, but when we take off, I'm in my ship, and Poe says to all of us, all right, let's go. We're in the air, and he goes, everybody to light speed. And then I go, is there any other speed? And it's dude, that's a t-shirt. That's a line.
Yep.
Just a great moment. And they had to cut it out because of that reason, So that's happened to me. I'm the cutout guy. I'm on the floor a lot in the editing room. Happy to be there.
We've been big fans of Claude since seeing like the old images. Him and Babu Frick are our 2 favorites.
So,
yeah, they just look like 2 stoner aliens to me. So I love them.
That's what I'm saying. I know. I love it. But even in that, like, imagine you're creating. I wish I had the name of the guys that in the company that created all those alien. You guys know
the Creature Shop,
the puppeteer guys. Yeah,
I mean, from 7, 8, and 9, they are the greatest. And what you just said, like, if you can look at a character and in 2 seconds go, "Oh, that's a stoner," or "That's that,"
yeah,
that's the gift of this, because these are aliens, but they have an emotion. They give you a sense of who they are character wise. And JJ, being an artist, is so brilliant at that. I don't know how much he had, how much involvement, but it's like BB-8. He created BB-8. I mean,
I was just about to say, think about him creating BB-8 and Babu Frick, and then even throw in Rian Johnson with the Porgs. The sequel trilogy did such a good job with doing the like cute Star Wars stuff that hardcore fans have sometimes been like, we don't like that. The Ewoks are a classic example, but they did it so well. We didn't see any backlash against BB-8. We didn't see any against the Porgs. We didn't see, like, everyone kind of just bought in and loved it. I mean, Babu Frick might be that, if not for Baby Yoda, the most beloved alien out there.
That's true. That's very true. Why didn't they, when Baby Yoda first came on, I remember there's a whole thing that, and I should have asked Favreau this, but where they were like, no, it's not Baby Yoda. No, don't call him Baby Yoda. Why?
Baby Yoda. Yeah, they get really mad about that.
Why?
Yeah, still. I think because he's not related to Yoda. Maybe, I don't know. They want us to call Baby Yoda the Child, which doesn't have quite the same ring.
Which I imagine there's a coronavirus delay, but. We ordered, and by that I mean I'm an idiot, and it was 3:00 in the morning. I also
ordered my own,
Baby Yoda. It's the life-size one from Hot Toys.
How much?
Yeah,
like $3.75.
Yeah, I think like 4 with shipping. Yeah,
so we're doing Mandalorian breakdowns back again for YouTube back in October, and I'm like, I gotta have this Baby Yoda on the desk. We're doing these breakdowns.
I checked today because I actually published a blog. If you could pull up this picture, it's really funny.
I was sending that to Jeff right now.
Yoda. So there's a bootleg Baby Yoda plush out there that I just put up. Someone tweeted at me. They were like, my mom bought this. She couldn't wait any longer. So I checked on mine. It says our Baby Yodas are going to get there in August. Baby Yoda kind of looks like a mix between a blobfish and like Joe Pesci in The Irishman. Like
it's
old Joe Pesci.
Got a little Dobby the house elf too in him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Actually, it's not adorable.
What's his name? Like Crankoff or whatever. It's the house from the private Sirius Black's apartment.
Here we go.
Shitty elf.
That's who it is. Yes, here it is. This is the knockoff Baby Yoda.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Mando kills that motherfucker if that's what he sees.
Oh my god, yeah! If he shows up for that bounty,
he's like, "I'm trading this in for the chip right now. I don't care."
I gotta pull up a picture of someone that we lost to coronavirus from Star Wars. That
yes.
So, I'll send it to you right now, and then we'll mention it because
everyone's asked me to show my new dog. Dog is sleeping, by the way. So maybe next time. Maybe for a new hope. Creature. What did you call it?
Crankoff. Close enough.
Famous Harry Potter. I mean, sorry if this offends J.K. Rowling, but it seems like something J.K. Rowling would make up. Crankoff.
Tweeting that like in reversed. Diego Luna is so cool. That's his seasons of Narcos are amazing.
I haven't watched Narcos. I haven't dug into that yet.
Me either.
I'm a fan.
God, this fucking just killing the dad here.
I like this whole scene. This whole environment too, right? Like a pouring rain, sniper scene in a Star Wars movie. Like very
Seattle
much
Planet.
has a war movie feel.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's like the sniper scene from Saving Private Ryan, where Vin Diesel gets sniped out.
Yes. This might be the most warsy Star Wars movie.
Oh, it is.
For sure.
Right?
I agree with that.
Yeah, and we will.
Oh, for sure. That's what I was saying. That's what I loved about this. It felt so gritty and what is the word? I mean, it's like I don't know. Like you could imagine yourself in it. You know, the consequences are. You really believe these characters are gonna die. You don't know who's gonna survive. You don't know who's the real star. Who's gonna. You know who the stars of the movie. You know what I mean, though. Like certain movies, you're like, well, Tom Cruise ain't gonna die. You know that.
Yeah.
Just the gritty nature of it and the realistic way that they shot these.
This is so true. Like these X-wings in the rain. We've never seen shit like this before. This was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome shots.
So good. And it's hard in a movie series that's been around for so long and has established so many different elements to create something new. JJ even did it in 9 with that, with the waves and the ocean and the, or whatever that. Just amazing, man.
Yeah, that Death Star fight is awesome between Kylo and Rey.
Well,
just like especially the way it echoes the Obi-Wan and Anakin fight over the lava, and this one's over the water. Oh, it's good stuff.
I mean, think about what we saw even with The Force Awakens when they're flying into Takodana and they're seeing Maz and the Falcon like skims the water. We even see the X-wings skim the water. That was like in the first teaser. People were like, what the fuck is that? Like, holy shit, X-wings that do more than just space. Like, it was crazy.
The Apocalypse Now shot of the TIE fighters,
which is actually above. I don't know if I can. That is a. Let's see if I can get it. I don't know if I can. It's above my.
Oh, you're getting there. You're getting there.
Bottom corner.
I can see the corner of it.
Above my TV. It's the shot from Force Awakens.
You're so close, Jeff.
The Apocalypse Now shot of the TIE fighters. Yeah, it's tough to see. That's what's above my TV. I was looking for something to put above it. Like, that's the fucking one of the coolest shots in Star Wars.
If I ever need a cameraman, I'm not calling you.
Which I'll lend to that. I almost unplugged the camera to show you, realizing that it would have now gone.
Everything would have gone.
That would have been bad.
Look at the ship. Look at the ship, man.
Yes. I really like this. You're like, what? I don't know what this is.
Something happening in someone's apartment?
Yeah, I hear something too.
That might be I'm sorry, I'm watching with my folks, so they might the chatter might be going.
Robbie was looking up. I thought Trent was in the kitchen doing something.
No, not over here yet.
Yeah, I'm not in the main office tonight. I'm out in the family room, so sorry about that, everybody.
No problem. By the way, I want to apologize to there were a bunch of people that texted me and tweeted. They were like, you know what? Next time you do this with these guys, do a movie that's not so great. It's so hard to watch a movie that you love.
Yeah, it's like watching a movie with friends, though.
What?
It's watching a movie with friends, where
I agree.
You chill and you talk through it.
I totally.
We'll have you back for sure. We don't even have to do Star Wars. I wanted to show this off. This goes to the Mark Hamill thing. Mark Hamill too. I feel like no one appreciates being known for one role more than Mark. I feel like he loves it. Like you don't ever hear that like whatever. I'm more than just Luke. I showed him this toy. This is an alternate expanded universe evil Luke with a red lightsaber. And
Incredible.
I thought he was going to be like, oh, I know this story because he knows everything. His son catalogs every fucking toy. Like, it's awesome. And he gets it and he goes, ooh. And he's like, what is this? And he thought I like made it. That was one of the coolest things. He's like, I blew Mark Hamill away. He had no idea that Luke existed.
That's so cool.
I feel like such an idiot that I'm in the minority here of this group that I haven't gotten to run across Mark Hamill yet. I'm jealous.
This is awesome. You're hanging out the wrong places.
No joke.
I just saw Mark Hamill tweeted, actually, I think it might have been yesterday or the day before, that he's still never met Natalie Portman, which is funny.
Yes,
he's never met his own
crazy.
mother.
That is crazy.
Yeah, you would imagine that they'd be at Celebration or something together at some point.
Yes. But, the weirdest thing for me in that weird way was I did Heroes, and I don't know if you guys watched that show, but we all had our own little stories. So there were like 8 of us, 10 of us, big cast. And it wasn't until we did like a gallery shoot or something where I was like, hey, I really like your show. Oh, I like your show. We all had our own, and we never crossed paths. And then there were a couple of times where I remember Milo and we had to like stop and say to the director, wait a minute, the last time he was trying to kill me. Like, people came in, there were so many stories going at a time. We had to like, address those things at the top of a scene, or it didn't make any sense.
That's like animated things. You forget animated, like so many things are done not together. Like my last job, we had it was D23. This is the D23 where they introduced like all the Avengers cast. They did the first Infinity War trailer, and the cast of Incredibles 2 was all together in a room, and they had never met the new kid who played Flash because the old kid was too old. And they're meeting him, and the movie's like almost done. Like Brad Bird's like, the movie's done, and you dawn on you like, hey, we've never met him before. He's like, you're in the movie, but they record all their lines.
Wow.
They never met him before.
Deadline Hollywood. Netflix sets Chernin Entertainment to multi-year first look film deal. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. It's all because of us, obviously.
Us.
I just want to break the news here. I know it was on Deadline first, but
listen, we weren't going to say it, but those are actually that's all for our original Netflix content. We'll be doing movies and series. This team will be taking over the deal they were going to give to D&D from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Perfect.
No, Clem, not in the bathroom. He's recording an ad. He'll be back.
He's doing an ad read. He just texted us on the side.
Probably Podfathers?
I would imagine, yeah.
Diaper Ed.
All right, so I got a question for you guys. What movie, if you come across it while you're watching TV, which we so rarely watch now, it's TV, except for sports, but if you're let's say you're going through channels and you see something and it's on, do you have to watch it? You have to finish it. You'll even cancel dinner plan. I mean, it's just one of those things where, it just does it for you.
Shawshank.
It's great. We were talking about this recently.
Yeah.
We did a live watch of Dark Knight recently. Dark Knight, when that comes on, I'm in start to finish from no matter what point I join.
Yeah.
That was the first one that came to mind for me, but a more recent one that's like not even an amazing movie. It's a little on the cheese side, but I cannot scroll past it, is The Equalizer with Denzel. The second Equalizer.
So
I'll watch Denzel Washington equalize wrong deeds for as long. I mean, I need 10 of those movies.
Social Network too. It's on Netflix now. Thank God.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Damn.
You
Anytime
missed the
it's on
first part
Netflix.
of the question, Clem. Movie you can't turn off is on TV.
You're in the middle of it. You have to watch it till the end. I'll tell you, while you're thinking, I'll tell you mine and my son Sam is The Untouchables. There's just a tone.
Hell yeah.
Dude, there's a tone to that movie. And by the way, one of the greatest openings of a movie ever, because the camera comes down. They're all moving. It's not a still, guys. They're not freeze frame, because you see the reporters and they're kind of, some of them are moving a little bit, and it's like a play. And suddenly the curtain opens. There's no curtain, but it's and action. And then they go. God, man, it's so good.
De Palma, man, what a goddamn genius. What do you call it? The Sean Connery death scene in that, the Mountie raid, and like the soundtrack that plays while they're riding down on the horses is so sick.
Oh, what are you willing to jump? Oh my God. How far are you willing to go? Whatever.
I think De Niro is my second favorite Capone, only after Stephen Graham, who played him in Boardwalk Empire, who is the best. He's the best Capone ever. I can't help myself. He's amazing in Boardwalk.
He is amazing. That's a good call.
Vader, by the way.
Oh shit, DV.
Clem, what's your pick?
I forgot he's in this part. I think at first I was going to say Die Hard or Infinity War, but I think the one that grips me the most is Billy Madison. Oddly, I think that just
Wow.
That's a good point.
Like a fucking fish. It just
Okay. I have another. It's The Jerk. Like well,
He hates the hands.
now I'm okay. Blues Brothers. I will not turn it off. I don't care. It's Passover, and I've got to have it on in the other room. I mean, I love these movies that are just they made me. They just favorite movie of all time. Favorite movie of all time.
Well, the favorite movie of all time. The same answer is turn off, and that's I'm Ocean's 11. Ocean's 11 is my favorite. Not the original. Not the original.
Not the Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack one. It's a tough movie.
I'd probably go Empire. It's either Empire or Dark Knight, depending on the day you ask me.
Goodfellas.
I had a phase for a year where I would watch Ocean's 11 every night to like put me to sleep, like go to bed, like just comfort me in the background. It's just one of those movies that
once that Claire de Lune hits, you just doze off. Yeah.
Joey, my grandfather was in Goodfellas. He was an advisor on it because he was in the mob.
Is that right?
He was Nicky Eyes in Goodfellas.
Holy shit, man.
You know when they do like the intro scene and they're like, yeah, you got this guy, you got this guy, you got this guy.
Yeah.
He's the dude with the glasses.
In the bar.
Yep.
Oh wow.
That's him. He was
get the papers.
Yep.
I love that shit.
He was a dirty cop and he helped advise for the mob on the movie. And he ended up in that and Casino as well.
Joey 2 times.
Yeah, before we continue this conversation, here is the famous line from this movie. Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, director. Which got a lot of groans after the movie came out, but now I've like warmed up to it. I'm like, yeah, it's whatever.
I love it. It's little dickhead Anakin coming out of his shell there.
Yeah.
That's how I've talked myself into it too. That's Hayden Christensen Anakin right there.
A little emo Anakin, yeah.
Yep.
I was
and in this scene, we have the all-time ad lib from the back.
This is the scene. This is exactly the same scene that I was talking about. I gotta find this picture. Did you get that picture I sent you?
Wait, hold on.
Oh shit, that's that dude from Chernobyl. That's sick.
I love this. Someone from the back yells, "And what is she proposing?"
Yeah,
it's an unbelievable line from an extra.
Which is like that reminds me of the this guy stinks from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Oh brother.
Okay, here's my equivalent. I'm sending it to you right now, Jeff.
Yeah, that's the dude from Chernobyl that was shooting all the dogs and cats.
These scenes, by the way, take forever. You only have 4 cameras, and everybody's got to be covered from every angle, from every side. She's got to get her looking that way. It takes forever, dude.
I really thought about that.
Oh,
it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, they're the longest ever.
I want to shout myself out because I bailed on Chernobyl after the first episode because it was like once I realized how depressing it was going to get, and I think it got me a little. I started this pandemic much fresher than everyone who watched Chernobyl.
You were 5 episodes ahead of everyone else.
That's a Sir Barristan in the middle too. For those of you who watch Game of Thrones, to do with the gray beard, I believe.
Oh wow,
he's in this.
Yeah, I think that's him with the white hair and the beard.
This is a pretty cool picture, Greg. This is.
I mean, look at that shot, and then pull it up. I mean, it's to be able to be the guy in this shot is just.
I mean, yeah,
that's incredible. Look at all the pictures. You got Chewie. You got, I mean, everybody. Billy's next to me, and then so there's Andrew Jack right there.
Yeah.
Andrew Jack, one of the most interesting, sweetest, nicest guys. He's a dialect coach, and he passed away of coronavirus. And such a sweet man. But this scene was just ridiculous.
It's a complete who's who of like not only the sequel trilogy, but just Star Wars. You got C-3PO, you got Chewie, Han, Nine Nub, you got Akbar. Poe throws it over to you in that scene. Like you're boys with Poe Dameron, the coolest motherfucker in the squad.
Exactly. In this scene, Oscar and I, between takes, we were like, "Hey, what's up, my name? Nope. How you doing?
Nine Nub, rest in peace."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He exploded
with the what do you call it?
Because we debated that. We debated that. Did he go down in the
I think
flames
he did
with Snap?
He was one of the last ones to die. I remember that before like everything got fixed. Like he was like one of the ships that exploded up against the side of a destroyer.
I know how like KenJac, you and Fran were like, no, he burned up. And I was like, I don't know. They were like, did JJ kill him? I guess he did. Did. Killed that. You can't last. The only one the only non-main character who's allowed to last all those movies is Wedge.
Yeah, Wedge always makes it out.
Oh,
There we go. Can you give some insight on that? What was the push to get Wedge in there? To get what's his name? Dennis. What's his fucking real name?
Yeah, hates Star Wars.
What?
Right, like he told his nephew is the story about Ewan McGregor is his nephew, and he told Ewan to not take Star Wars.
He's like, do not do it. It would be a horrible idea.
I think Ewan McGregor's brother in real life is like an actual Royal Air Force pilot too, which is kind of cool.
Really?
Yeah, like he's and they call him Obi-Wan or something like that, if I remember right.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. I love this scene, by the way. This scene is completely the spirit of Star Wars. It's got the hope. It's, the underdog sticking up for her after she proposed everything. Them going against it. Awesome. This is one of the best scenes in the movie for me.
Dennis Lawson is the name. Thank you for that. That's right.
I have to say this movie is a breath of fresh air after the prequels that we were all watching.
Oh, that's for sure. That's a really
good. We just went through those three.
Big moment in the movie. Everyone who's on the stream right now, so the six of us, just make sure to retweet the link. Just hit that up so people have one last push here at the end for one of the best, maybe the best space battle in Star Wars movies.
The Jeddah troopers.
Oh yeah,
or not the Jeddah. Sorry, oh my god, the planet. I almost want to say Sarlacc.
Scarif.
Scarif. The Scarif troopers have the coolest armor, I think, out of any of the stormtroopers.
Such a cool idea too. Throw them on a beach. Let's do it.
The tropical planet.
Yeah.
The ghost from Star Wars Rebels is in the background in this scene. You see Chopper as well, I believe. The nice little animated references.
All right, I'm going to pour myself another green tea before we get to Scarif.
She said the thing.
I don't know. The person saying the prequel to Rock may not have hung out with us for all three of those. Clem.
Oh my gosh.
They have their moments. They mean a lot to me, but
even Sith too. Like I built Sith up a little more in my head than obviously after the rewatch. I was like, I didn't like it as much as I remembered. I mean, it definitely had moments, especially Sith. But
the opening crawl into the space battle with the war drums going is still one of my most favorite intros out of all the Star Wars. I'll give Sif that.
I'll tell you, look at all those knobs and buttons and all the stuff, the computers, and it's so interesting when you're the first time that I was in my X-Wing, all that shit is rubber cemented, and it's just falling off. You click it, it falls off, hits you in the face. I mean, it's unbelievable. Stuff's more, but a lot of that stuff is just on balsa wood.
Comment here saying, Greg on our podcast. Greg, we'll tell the people you're coming on this Sunday. Greg is going to be doing the Quibi review with us. We will be reviewing all of the shows on Quibi, which you can watch now ad-free for 90 days.
Free
of charge. So Greg will be on our Sunday episode doing a review of all the shows on Quibi.
All the offerings so far on Quibi. I mean, it's 90 days. You have to get hooked. Are they going to hook you? I'm so glad you let me do this with you because I'm so anxious. I pitch shows all the time. I get stuff pitched to me all the time, TV shows and movies, but I'm always looking for something. This is a 10-minute format. That's it. What can you do in 10 minutes? It's not like I took a movie and broke them up. Each one of these things, man, I don't want to let people know how I'm leaning one way or the other, but I've been checking them out. So we got to talk about
it. Clem and Joey, Greg wants you guys to watch Chrissy's Court tonight on Quibi. Make sure you carve out all your
the whole thing. You gotta let it because there's so many unanswered questions.
The whole thing, it's 1 hour long.
Yes.
So all the episodes combined.
Right. No, they release 3, and then they're releasing a new one of every one of the shows every week, apparently. But anyway, let's stop reviewing now. We got to save that for later. That's going to be a lot of fun.
There's a cool moment with Jimmy Smits there with Bail Organa where he kind of alludes to Obi-Wan, and he's like, I trust her with my life. He's talking about Leia. Very cool.
Yeah.
Those are the nods I fucking love. They just flow.
Jimmy Smits rules. Keep bringing that guy back.
I'm as big of a West Wing fan as there is. I even like the post-Sorkin stuff. I love a good Matt Santos.
I saw him in an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine recently. I just love Jimmy Smits. He's amazing.
I got to get on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh,
I just got Hulu and it's on that. So I'm gonna
good.
probably check that out soon.
Somebody is asking for a future LCB podcast about Hollow Man and movies like that. So
yeah, I mean, are you a Kevin Bacon guy?
You would for sure talk Hollow Man.
I'm in that movie, man. I'm in that movie. That's my first big movie. So
I have no idea. That's amazing.
Yeah, I have red hair. I play Carter Abbey, the cardiologist in that movie. I die, like I get garroted, a pipe to my neck, and I fall down. It's like that was a big first, thrown into the fire of those big movies. I was young, but I'd love to talk about that kind of stuff. I have this movie, Big Ass Spider. Have you guys seen Big Ass Spider? Like, if you haven't seen that, that's
Big Ass Spider.
Big Ass Spider.
This is completely non-Star Wars and even movie related, but you played drums in the TV band, right?
Yeah, band from TV. Yeah.
Band from TV. Yeah. So that's just random. It's a bunch of actors that get together and you guys play shows like sporadically. How does that work? Because super groups I know are always hard to get together. Yeah, but
super groups are one thing. Bands that actors that have bands and they're playing originals, I just want to shoot myself in the face.
You guys are not originals, covers.
No, all covers, man. It's familiar faces playing familiar music, and we each have a charity that we support, and we've been responsible for over $6 million in money over the last 13, 14 years, and so proud of it. I started it with Bob Guinea, and Scott Grimes is in the group, Hugh Laurie, Terry Hatcher, Jorge Garcia, Adrian Pazdar, Jesse Spencer, James Denton, all these great guys, and I'm most proud of that. I love it so much, and I play the drums. I'm probably the best drummer in the world, I think.
What kind of music do you guys play?
Well, somebody has to be the hammer that kind of goes no and yes and whatever, but everybody brings their own style to it. And whatever songs we play, like we play anything from, Don't Stop Me Now by Queen to a Springsteen or a Billy Joel tune. And we play contemporary stuff too, but it's got to be a song that makes you feel like Tony from, his name's Tony, from Saturday Night Fever, when you're just walking party and you're like, hey, it's got to be something that makes you feel good, even if it's a ballad. Bob Guinea, I don't know if you remember Bob the Bachelor. Bob Guinea is he's just an incredible musician. Scott Grimes too, but we play like Walking in Memphis and whatever, and we'll play a slow song every so often, but mainly it's just upbeat, just classic party songs. And
what does Scott Grimes play? I only really know him from Band of Brothers and American Dad and a few other things.
The Orville, my friend.
Oh wow.
Star in the Orville. Yeah. We play so Scott is legitimately the best musician, forget actor, that I've met. He's so incredibly talented, dude. The guy's got a voice that you cannot believe. But he plays keyboards, he plays guitar. He's one of those guys that just makes you want to throw up. And we have this guy Nick Marzak too in the band who he's a singer-songwriter. But it's a lot of fun. And then we have this new band, by the way, that you guys will like, called the Action Figures, and we play Comic-Cons. And everybody on stage has to have an action figure. Here's our drummer. But it's great because the Comic-Cons know what they're getting. So we bring, 5, 6, 7 people, and everybody, we just have so many great people join us. And then when we get to the Comic-Con, my buddy Henry Winkler will be like, I want to join you. You never know who's going to get up at any given time, but I love it. I love it so much.
Any Motley Crue awesome. Get you in the cage?
Oh yeah, we do. We play all that stuff, dude. The stuff that really makes you go, hey, and talk about low expectations. Like you think there's no way this band is good. These guys can't be good. And suddenly we're really real. Dude, we've played American Idol. We played Leno. We played at the Alamo Dome. We played on the field at the White Sox and the Cubs White Sox game on the field. We've done some incredible things. We just had such
I feel like I have a very similar thing. We have a band at Barstool called Pup Punk. Yeah, so it's called Pup Punk, and I play bass in it. And we basically just play shows of covers, but it's the same exact thing where we'll play a show at the House of Blues or Irving Plaza, and everyone shows up kind of expecting nothing. The bar is set so low that when we play like your average garage band, people are like, "Oh shit!" They're playing Blink-182. It's the best feeling in the entire world.
The best. There's nothing better. I totally agree. And like for us, there's a bunch of, like, you guys announce that you have the ability to get the word out and stuff. So people come to your show and they they love you. And this is like, oh, banned from TV, and then they're sitting there like, oh, that's the guy from, oh, that's the girl. That's the guy. Sarah Wayne Callies. You know who Sarah Wayne Callies is? Star of Walking Dead, and like she gets up there. And
who did she play in Walking Dead?
She played Grimes' wife.
Oh yeah, then definitely, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's amazing. She's got a new show called Council of Dads on NBC. But like, there's all these people that come and go, and but we have a core band, and it's a blast. I love that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's that sort of like, holy shit, you can see it on their faces.
Yeah,
so cool. I love it. Who dropped out? We're missing somebody.
Joey's internet is a very sketchy. Yeah, so he's made it through a couple.
I thought it was one of my stories. I thought he was like, that's it. Command Q.
This is filmed in like London Tubes, I believe, this scene where they're walking around right here with the stormtroopers and Jin.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, but there's the Rogue One behind the scenes is very cool. And this is just, they were in the London Tubes, and it's like they didn't do much to it. They just Star Wars it up a bit.
For those of you who've played of Fallen Order, the intelligence droids are real sons of bitches to fight in Fallen Order.
So this looks like it's on. Yeah, this is on the stage.
So that is one of the best slight references in Star Wars. They talk about the T-15s being marked up, which that's the speeder Luke sells in.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, in A New Hope. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little callback.
I love the whole way they shoot this sequence, like skipping around, having the little takedowns. It feels almost like so old school. And seeing like a silhouette of our protagonist taking down an antagonist, and then they're in a bush all of a sudden.
Reminds me of like a heist movie or something, because you're getting all these moving parts and stuff.
Totally,
like that.
Totally. And I'll watch sequences where the arrogance of the Empire gets to them all day long. Love that shit.
Dude, these lines are so hard. They're so. I mean, I've been the victim of a lot of these scenes where you have one line, two lines. It's the hardest thing in the world because you're not coming up a conversation. You're not reacting to anything. It's just go get her then. Right? So you end up doing it a million different ways. You give them an ABC, they call it, where it's just like, well, go get her then. You just do it. And when you see actors like this do these lines that are then they just nail it, man.
Are there people in the, let's say 7 and 9 that you did that you hadn't met? Someone like, I'm thinking like Domhnall Gleeson. Someone like that.
If you remember, I was the pilot in Lost, so he was in the bathroom all strung out.
Oh shit, yeah.
So I've known Dom for a very long time, and who else though? That I forgot her character name. Who rode the horse? I hadn't met her.
Jana.
Is it Jenna?
Jana, yeah, she's terrific, man. Oof. So good. It was, what was great was I'll text these guys and I'll talk to them. Wait, hold on. Sorry, that's is that JJ? No. I'll text these guys and talk to them occasionally, but it's like Daisy and I just talk on text and Oscar, and I'll see them occasionally, but it was really like, I call it old home week, where you're just like getting together with old friends. And there was an appreciation in 9 because we all knew this was it,
Yeah, it's like senior year, right?
Yeah. I mean, 7. The other thing is, I'll do a movie, I'll do something, and I'm nothing against Max Reload and the Nether Blasters. That's a small film, and a lot of people are going to see it, a lot of people won't. Whatever. Star Wars, everybody in the world is going to see it, so that whatever you say, whatever you do, it's going to last. People are going to be quoting it. I get people coming up to me or sending me pictures all the time, and they're like, "Hey, I'm dressed up like you." And I look at these photos, and I'm like, "Man, I got to lose weight. I just have to lose weight."
And like these movies, more than anything else, there's people that are breaking everything down frame by frame by frame by frame, and not many franchises can say that.
That's absolutely true. That's exactly.
You're gonna
right.
have a Wikipedia page, longer than you could ever imagine. You're gonna have action figures.
Yeah, my Wikipedia page is crazy. It's like it's got facts on there.
I'm gonna go to it. Don't worry. We're gonna at the end. I'm gonna just scan through your Wikipedia here.
Okay.
Get a time sync for everyone.
There were so many other ways they could have named the Wikipedia for Star Wars, and God bless that hero that named it Wikipedia.
Right.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm allowed to pee, right? I'm gonna go pee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Now. You can't miss the big space.
Into this cup right here in front of you.
Is that
Robbie,
the actress that played her in Revenge of the Sith?
She was mostly cut out of the prequels.
Yeah.
Put her in this, which is cool. Robbie, you got to send me. You or Clem got to send me the picture when he gets back. We got to show him you guys a celebration, the Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, I'll send it to you. Yeah.
We got to show him. Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie, you're showing the leg, just really sexing it up.
Yeah, I feel like you need to almost warn him. We can't give him an unsolicited Slave Leia pick.
Everyone on the stream right now, make sure to subscribe, by the way. Or the best part of the movie, why not do that?
What's coming up this week, Jeff?
We got we got a big week this week. We have there we go. There's 3PO and R2. Our good friend Mr. Sunday Movies, his favorite part. They're like, hey, it's a Star Wars movie. How you doing?
But do you think they felt any pressure being the first spinoff? They were like, fuck, let's just do it because we don't know. Like they've been in every one. We don't want to be the ones that fuck up their record. It's like when they not to bring up old scars for Clem, but when McAdoo was like, listen, we're not going to start Eli this game, and everyone hated him because he broke that long streak.
I loved him for that, to be honest, because it made Philip Rivers the record holder.
Didn't like that either. That was a double whammy.
I'm going to order food while we're doing this, while we're getting to the end stretch here.
Oh, the ATSTs. That's right, Matthew.
We have Creed 2 on Thursday night with Eddie, Kirk Minahan, and Brandon Walker, an electric crew. We've actually, I've never really met Kirk. I just know Kirk through Twitter. Can't wait to have Kirk on. Kirk, big fucking movie guy. He's pumped to do one of these. Brandon's a wild card, so that's exciting. And then it's Eddie. And then Friday, we're going to have Mush, Casey, and Fights for Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, Inglourious Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, one of the best movies. Let me ask you this, you guys. You seen The Hunters?
I have not.
Amazon series?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hunters. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I put Hunters. So, I don't. Did you guys love it?
I was a big fan. I love the end. The last episode is one of the best closeouts to a series that I can remember in recent memory. Big
Absolutely.
Fan.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. But Inglourious Bastards and that movie, whatever. How do you feel about something like, like the Holocaust being, I don't know if exploited is the right word, or
Jojo Rabbit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jojo Rabbit. Yeah.
Well, so I love Jojo Rabbit, but I love the movie. I love Taika Waititi, but there's been people who've said they don't like it for that reason.
It's just interesting because it's like, you're just kind of making entertainment out of that stuff. It's tough. And there were a couple of times in that movie, especially that series, because they flash back and it's so realistic, and you're in the camp, you're seeing these people die. And I lost family in that, so it was tough. Although, man, what a series! And Pacino, what?
If you told me I would believe Pacino is an older Jewish gentleman, I tell you what, I wouldn't have believed it. And he killed it. He's awesome.
He killed it. I know he killed it. You're right. Why am I not in this movie? I'm kidding.
I also like Josh Radnor in that. I haven't seen him in, I feel like, almost anything since How I Met Your Mother.
I know. Radnor is the greatest.
It's so funny.
Oh, so good.
So that space battle entrance is fucking incredible. The entire space battle where they come in, there's Star Wars score plays. But the coolest thing with this space battle is them recycling old footage from the original movie of the actors who did the trench run. And they have them in. It is one of the fucking coolest things to use that old footage. It's seamless. It works. It's all this shit that they never used. It's awesome. It's John Knoll is responsible for it. John Knoll has a long history with Star Wars. It was one of the neatest fucking things. Here, Greg, this was Robbie and Clem at Celebration 2017.
Dude, that is the best sexy Leia. Oh my god, that is the best, man.
Tell you what, it was cold in that convention center.
And was that a poop emoji? Who was that? Was that a poop emoji? Who was that?
Yeah, what a costume, Clem.
That was so good.
Nothing like getting a text message from Robbie on like a random Tuesday night. Hey, think about Celebration. You're gonna be Jabba. I'm gonna be Slave Leia. Pitching that one to my wife. She's like,
Here, someone passed.
what did I sign up for?
Oh, sorry. My headphone just went out.
I mean, it's not the way you saw that sex fantasy playing out when you were younger, did you? You didn't expect it to be a 19-year-old boy when you initially thought it out.
Exactly.
Robbie was like this little baby kid who had never really said anything. You know, I was always cool with him, but he like always in the corner. And then like he gets the job. He's like, I'm gonna go be slave Leia down in Celebration.
So wait, you guys knew each other before working together?
No, that was just I had just gotten hired when we went and made that video, so I didn't really know Clem that well. That was like our first trip we took together.
That's cool. I love it.
Seeing AT-ATs on a beach is awesome.
Jeff, can you pull up that guy's name, the one rebel with the super long name?
Oh, yeah. Oh, when the character comes up, we'll show his name.
They just showed him a second ago.
Fuck, what?
This movie's fucking good, man. I just can't get up. This movie is. I want to rewatch. I mean, obviously we're going to rewatch here, and I'll actually be able to do my rankings of everything, which is, I mean, that's kind of that should be my goal by the end of the quarantine is have like a legitimate Star Wars ranking I can stick to.
Yeah, you should.
This has moved up a shitload.
Oh yeah.
Remember the night of? What a goddamn show that was.
Oh my God, one of the best pilots ever.
John Tudor on his feet.
That's top 5 like heart in my chest like on just a TV show, one episode or like whatever that was, like 5 minutes of just pure terror as he's basically putting himself in a crime scene or
that was
getting back into it.
Crazy.
I still don't get the feet thing. The feet thing still bothers me from that show, and I want the answers to it.
What show are you guys talking about?
The Night of
is a miniseries on HBO with Riz Ahmed.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
Listen, it's worth watching. It's a show that I feel like it sort of fell off. It's only a few episodes. I think 7 episodes.
Yeah, it's like him, Bill Camp.
But the pilot might be the best pilot out. Like it's up there with Lost, I would compare it to actually.
Wow.
In that, like your mind is blown. You're like, holy shit, what ride are we about to go on?
All right, I'm gonna watch it for sure. I love that.
I love this little alien.
My favorite movie of all time is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, I love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. We were just talking about that earlier. Good old Dick Van Dyke, when they were just like, yeah, don't even try doing an accent. Like, don't even bother. Everyone else here is going to be British. We're just going to make you American with no explanation because your accent in Mary Poppins was that bad.
Oh, so bad. He kept getting closer and farther from the bells. He had that cockney. It was like, what's going on? I worked with him on his TV show. Oh God, where he played the medical exam or the detective. Oh,
is it Dick Van Dyke Show?
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, old show, and I got to work with him, and that was a gift, like to be able to work with that guy and tell him how much I love him, and and he was very sweet. He was really, really nice guy.
Diagnosis Murder, is that it?
Yes, Diagnosis Murder. I'm still getting residual, guys. I got an 11 the other day.
That's awesome, dude. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is a movie I watched so many times younger. Like this, every song from that is burnt into my brain.
How about this? It's the only movie I can remember that has an intermission that plays out on screen.
Yeah, that's right.
All of a sudden, it's like the flying car, and it goes bum 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 bum, and it says intermission, and you're like, this is gonna go off. Nope. They play the music, and it gives you time to go to the bathroom. You can go poo, get some popcorn, come back. Oh, it's so good.
The classics.
Love that.
What's the one song they do when they start doing the Old Bamboo? The Old Bamboo is the one.
Oh.
The Old Bamboo. The Old Bamboo. The Old Bamboo. Oh,
come on.
I love that movie.
I loved it too. So much.
I was just talking about 60s movies recently, and like that and The Great Escape are two that like and actually honestly whatchamacallit, The Dirty Dozen, which is getting remade soon. Those are a couple of 60 movies that really just stick out in my brain.
Oh yeah. Classic movies. Hunter with Steve McQueen. Yeah, I saw that. Hunter was just incredible.
Steve McQueen. Bullet.
Other movies that like define me or are really not define me, but really set my tastes. Willy Wonka, Charlie and the You know, that the original. I hated the remake. Hated.
Oh, yeah. No, I very, very much dislike because the original. I mean, I would say top 3 performance of all time is Gene Wilder.
Oh,
I mean, as Willy Wonka, it's haunting, but you could use every word in the dictionary to describe that role.
yeah.
What are those sets like? The shot of the cockpit facing the pilot, Greg. Like, what's that set look like for you?
So it's all green behind, and in the first movie, in 7, it was an actual cockpit, like the shield came down. So they locked the cameras in. The shield came down. I'm totally locked in. I am not a delicate flower. I'm not a little guy, guys. I am not. And I'm in there, and they're like, all right, Greg, are you ready? And by the way, Oscar had just come off, and the whole thing moves, like I said, like on a gimbal. So you're sitting there, and you're not really strapped in. So you're using your legs as much as you can to stay, and the yoke is here, and it's moving. It's not connected to anything. You have to fake that it's connected and still do that. And it's the first time you're in there. It's not like they get us in and go, get familiar with the cockpit because this is your cockpit. It's the first time I'm in there. Oscar almost threw up getting off of it. And he said to me, he's like, good luck, man. Good luck, because it's going to. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? He goes, no, it's really. And you're in there for so long. The second one, JJ, I guess, got smart, and it was just the seat, and this is digital. So this stuff, you know, the bars and the but they also have these lights that are going back and forth. So the shadow goes over your face.
Yeah.
And that helps with movement. But it's one of my favorite things was to be in the cockpit. And the last time I was in the cockpit, and actually I reshot some stuff in the cockpit, which was great. And I didn't know I was going to. So the last time I was in it on the initial shoot, I just wouldn't get out. I was like, ugh.
Your description of it sounds like me and Clem went to see Endgame in 4D, and we did not have the most pleasant time trying to stay in those seats. We were like, felt like a core workout. The next day, our abs were sore.
Yes.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
Yes, it's exactly right. You don't realize how much you're using. I'm not a big deep tissue guy. I'll just say it right now. And I was like, I'm using muscles I've never used. You know, my boys are baseball players. They're squatting here at the house like crazy. They've got like my son just, you know, they do so much weight. I don't even want to go close to that stuff. And that's the kind of, you're just a constant pressure on your thighs, you know, and because you're just trying to keep yourself balanced in that chair.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Kelly will said it in the chat, but Red 5 dies in the space battle, and that's obviously what Luke assumes. So Red 5 dies, and they have an open slot. Red 5, boom, boom.
But by the way,
F in the chat for
one out
K2SO.
tonight for
Yeah,
K2SO.
Papa Bless. Give a Papa Bless.
I mean,
F in the chat.
a real noble death. Went out defending Jin, went out defending the rebellion. Without that guy, who knows? We might never see a Snap Wexley. His parents may never get together.
That's right, Nora. See, I know my shit a little bit.
This character, Greg, this is the one KenJac wanted me to pull up. This is the longest character in Star Wars. Longest character name.
Oh, wow.
What?
What asshole named that guy?
He's in Rogue One. He's going to die soon.
Paodak Drabat Dakat Sab de Retki Rekti Nick Linkiti.
It's the only long thing is giving his wife on his wedding night is his last name.
Exactly. Dude, I don't want to be the person at the restaurant who has to tell him that his table is ready.
Right?
Could you imagine, being his substitute teacher as a kid?
I'm just going to call you Gregory.
Yeah. This entire final battle, I mean, we haven't even gotten to the hammerhead, have we?
Oh, no, not yet. Oh,
and that's one of my favorite moments.
Oh, I know what that's like right there. Oof. By the way, that black helmet that they cut to just about 30 seconds ago, that's one of the coolest helmets in Star Wars.
What's it like having to do a death scream? Is that like awkward?
It is awkward because it's just you're doing it. You know they're going to cut to you right as you're saying it, or they'll you'll hear it before you see it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to go with it. You just have to trust. And there's one person, one audience member when you're an actor. That's it, and that's the director. Mm-hmm. You know, the crew is great. If you're doing a comedy and you make the crew laugh, then it's a hat on a hat. It's too much. It's like the line's enough, and now you're making them laugh. You got to pull it back. It's a weird thing, and it comes with experience. You got to
That's
trust.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Trust the writers. Writers are not just writers. They write it. They perform. First, they write it. They read it through. They rewrite it. They perform it. I remember a funny story. What was his name? He was on NYPD Blue.
Dennis Franz.
Not Dennis Franz. Dennis Franz, by the way.
I wanted you to say Dennis. We love Dennis Franz.
Yes.
Oh my God, guys, you're gonna love this. Dennis Franz drowned me in a bar sink in NYPD Blue. I
No.
played the club leader mafia guy, and he comes over and he grabs my face and he throws it in. Best Dennis Franz line ever, dude. We're doing this scene. He drowns me, and I'm flailing, and then when I stop flailing, then they know I'm out of breath and he can pull me out, right? So I go really long, and he's holding me down. And every time I come up, I look in the sink, and my hair is floating in the sink. I'm like, the fuck, this guy's pulling my hair out. And I'm the biggest Dennis Franz fan ever, and he's the coolest guy ever, the best actor ever. I forgot that I worked with him. I mean, I have some amazing list of people I've been so lucky to work with. Anyway, I say to him, I'm like, hey, Dennis, and I'm such a fresh green actor. I go, Mr. Franz, Dennis, could you just be careful and just you're just doing it so hard. You're grabbing my hair. And he goes, hey, man, when they yell action, I bring the evil.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
And I'm like, man.
Bring the evil. Wow.
I bring the evil. Oh, so good. So good.
That's so fucking cool. Yeah, seriously, big time method actor. Damn.
Yeah,
Here comes the moment for Donnie Yen coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a very quotable moment here. Memed after the movie. Memed incessantly.
Oh, shit. This is so good.
Come on. It doesn't get better.
No, it doesn't.
I'll never forget. There was an account. I forget what account. It might have been Making Star Wars. Somebody tweeted. No, who was it? Whatever. I don't. Sorry about not having the credit. But apparently, when the bootleg of this movie released, the person whoever bootlegged it put on the screen at the end. They said, "What the fuck? They all die." Wait, what? None of them survive.
That moment right there, where Chirrut gets to walk through that battlefield, almost the no man's land thing, and I'm one with the Force is with me. That's the subtlety of the Force from A New Hope, where Luke turns off his targeting computer, and it's so subtle. It's not moving this with that.
Well,
I love the way they give it to him there.
What about the opening scene in this movie when she gives her the necklace and says, "Trust the Force"? It's just
yes,
it's those moments, so good.
It's amazing, and it's almost I don't want to say taking the Force back, but it does step back a little bit on the midichlorians.
Mm-hmm.
It brings it back to that the Force could be with everyone, which I love. It binds everyone together, all that nonsense.
Oh, come on.
Was there another big part of the trailer other than the TIE fighter that wasn't in the movie? I'm trying to think if there was a second thing. There's
a moment where they're running across a beach and Jin is holding the plans, and that was also cut.
And
because they never get to that point.
Krennic with the cape in the water, that too.
So this is, I've never talked about this before. When that thing that you alluded to, where Poe is giving us is firing us all up, and you cut to all the shots of everybody, so that wasn't shot that way. And it was shot where we were all into the Falcon, and he gives us that speech, and we're all listening to him. And then they decided to use, and I'm sure he re-recorded it, or maybe he didn't. His performance was so great, and they used it over that. But it was either that scene or another scene where he's pumping us up, and we're all there. There's 200 people there, and then we stand up. I stand up. There's a bunch of people are standing up, but I'm sitting for the most of it. And then I stand up, and a couple other people stand up, and then we all JJ was like, it's going to be corny, but let's just try it. And we all said something very similar to that. It wasn't we're one with the Force, and the Force is with me. We didn't say that, but it was something about Leia, and it was something. And you think about it. He says, "All right, here's the line," and you're thinking, you're like, "Oh, come on!" But then when you all stand up and you all say that line together, there's 200 people all saying the line. Dude, it is nothing better. And it got cut. It got cut, but I mean, you know, there's some movies that some lines you just take them out of context and they don't work, and then you put them in the emotion and that point of the film, and you say it like that. The way he forget about it. Instant.
Yeah. I love that. Like I said, that's one of my favorite scenes in that whole movie. The way Oscar delivers the performance, and he's like, "For Leia, for everyone we lost, for the galaxy." The way he pumped it out, it's so goddamn good.
I know, it's great, so good. Yeah, the Force,
and even the scene right before that with him and Billy D, where he says, "You know, how did you guys do it?" And he said, "We had each other." Such a good scene between those two.
Oh yeah. Billy D, man, come on,
legend.
Yeah, his birthday was this week. Happy birthday, Billy D.
Yeah, when I walked on stage on set, and saw him for the first time, and I walked up to him and I was like, "Man, you're the coolest dude in the world." And he goes, "No, man, you're the coolest dude in the world." And everybody laughed. And again, a guy like that just throwing it right back at you and rising to the occasion. He's not a young chicken, man. That guy, he's been around forever, and he's still so sharp and so good. Just such an honor to be work with him. And then at the premiere, dude, I was with my family, and I go to the premiere, and I don't know how, you know, we're just there, and we're going here, we're there, and I'm like, God, it's so crowded. Everybody's coming up to me. I'm like, this is packed with people, and somebody says, "Do you want to go into the VIP tent?" And the VIP tent was as big as like 3 football fields. I had no idea. The whole time, I had no idea. I get to it, and at my table, Billy D's sitting there, and it says it's reserved. They had a table reserved for me. They didn't even tell me. And I walk in with my family, and I see a few people that I know, and Billy D's and he just couldn't have been sweeter. That's just a moment that I remember. It's like I'm not doing it justice, but he's like, "Hey man, what's up, Greg? How you doing, man?" It's just like
anything cooler than that?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I love this scene with the hammer.
Off the set, like, does he have to wear a cape around? Because I feel like he always dresses as well.
Yeah, but he tucks it in so you can't see it. But because if people are looking and they're going, "Is that a diaper?" No, that's a cape.
It's a big ass cape.
Those hammerheads, yeah, like you said, KenJac, the Star Destroyer crashing into the other Star Destroyer.
The score when the hammerheads finally get this right coming up. Great job with the score. It just
this is when it was like, okay, Star Wars can go on without John Williams. We can make this work.
You got goosebumps with the thing that wasn't a John Williams original score, which is like, you know what? Fucking a lot of credit.
One thing I always love about Giacchino is he always puts like puns into his titles of his songs, which is I always will appreciate.
What a shot!
It fucking rules.
Mm-hmm.
The way it crashes through the gate here too to allow everyone in. Oh,
yeah. So here we go. This is the one you talked about, Clem. This was originally going to be she goes up with the plans, and the original TIE fighter flies up and is like kind of wobbly and facing her, but that wasn't part of it. Yeah, Ludwig Göransson, who does the Mandalorian score. Yep. The Mandalorian score is still stuck in my head from the fall. The theme of that fucking show is so good.
So great.
Have you heard, this is for after the pod, can't play music right. Have you heard the mashup of the Mando theme with the Rocky theme?
No.
It's unbelievable.
It's really cool.
Oh, I got to check that out.
Yeah, everyone look it up after. It's great.
Robbie and I will play it.
Fuck yeah.
You're on bass, right?
Yeah.
Okay, dude. Bass and drums. We don't need anybody else.
Yeah, rhythm section. You and me.
The heartbeat.
Yeah, the score was put together really quick at the end because who was originally, wasn't Desplat supposed to do this movie?
He had 2 weeks to write this score up, someone said.
What?
That's crazy. No way.
I may be wrong, but
2 weeks seems like a tight window to write a Star Wars score.
Of course. I don't believe that. I mean, maybe, but why? Why?
Big moment from
they weren't
Diego.
happy. Dude, again, not easy to do.
Say what you want to say about the M. Get destroyed beautifully. Like, I just love watching it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, as in the words of Werner Herzog, heartbreakingly beautiful.
It was heartbreakingly beautiful.
September 2016. This movie came out in December 2016. Alexander Desplat was originally slated to compose music for the new movie, and then he stepped in. He stepped in September. Movie came out in December.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So yeah, that's probably accurate when you consider you had to write it, compose it. They have to obviously lock down the movie pre-release date.
Hey, let's do one where we talk about. No, I'm not part of the group. I'm just going to take charge. Let's do one where we talk about music and let's have Chiquino on.
Oh, absolutely. He's one of my all-time favorite composers ever.
Yeah,
I would absolutely be down for that.
He'll do that in a second. He's just such a great guy, and he's such a fan.
Would absolutely love it.
I remember beating the game Medal of Honor Frontline so that I could watch the behind-the-scenes sequence that you earn when you beat the game and like unlock a certain feature, and you can see the behind-the-scenes of him making it and doing this one part of the score where like a kid hits a really high note, and it was so. Oh, this is like 2002 or something. I remember doing this. It's crazy.
This part of the movie is nuts.
Yeah.
I did this show with Kevin Smith, Geeking Out on AMC, and we had access to all this great stuff and whatever. And I checked, and Chiquino was like, "Yeah, come on in, man. We're doing the score for Beyond." And so I go to Fox, and they're doing the score, and they've got the orchestra in there, and Justin Lin's in there, and it's just to be there. And I've done it a couple times with JJ, and I've had some moments like in post that are just mind blowing. But that was one of them too, where you're just standing there and you're watching how they do this. They do it to the picture. That's crazy. The orchestra.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like super emotional, and it's bits and pieces, but it's just incredible. Absolutely.
Well,
there's Ryan Johnson again.
Oh yeah, there he is again. Same shot.
Well, one of the most goosebump inducing things in my life was when Celebration. It was right after Billie Lourd had done her tribute to Carrie at Celebration, and they pull back this curtain in the corner, and all of a sudden you just see this orchestra, and you're like, "Oh, what are they going to play here?" And then it's just John Williams standing there. You're like, "What the fuck?" And he played the Leia theme. It was beautiful, and then he played the theme, the Imperial March, and you're just like, "That's John Williams composing right here."
Yeah. We did that at Comic-Con. JJ did that at Comic-Con with Star Trek, remember? And he's like, "Hey, everybody, we were in Hall H." And actually, you know who followed us or who followed them was Kevin. And so everybody...
It was like empty for him, yeah.
He was so bummed because everybody camps out, and then they stay for this one or that one. And they just all emptied, and we all went and back.
It was like a stormtrooper escort, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was so cool.
By the way, I love that. I feel like this is an easy moment where you could have shoehorned in a romantic scene where these two share a kiss or something. I love that they share, they're just holding hands on the beach. They hug and they go out the way they do.
Yeah.
Oh,
and here's Vader gearing up for, oh my God.
By the way, Greg, I told you the other day the story about the Kevin Smith fan. It's Robbie. This is
yeah. Pretty diehard.
KenJac and I, we were going to maybe take him to the Infinity War screening, but I couldn't get the ticket, and then we're in line for popcorn. Fucking Kevin Smith was like,
That's right. Robbie, I'll hook you up. He's the best. I just talked to him today. He's doing so well. Thank God, because this thing is affecting people with heart conditions, and I was, worried about him, but he's doing great. He's doing, he's walking the canyon every day. He's at home.
He just got off tour. Thank God when he did.
Yeah, so that's what he said. He goes, "Look, after being on tour for as long as I was, it was great. It's great to be home, and have some downtime."
We interviewed him, I want to say 2 years ago now, but I forget what it was for. But he was a tremendous interview. Such a nice guy.
Oh,
it was for Jay and Silent
Bob reboot.
Yeah, what? Way back then.
Yeah,
we had a fucking blast with him.
So much fun.
He's the best.
Oh, this scene is just
what a shot you get here.
Oh.
That second you get of that Vader breath before the saber ignites too.
I mean, would you say top 5 Star Wars scene of the entire?
I don't know if I'd say top 5, but it's up there, man.
This is one of the best ever.
It's as good as it gets.
You don't get enough evil Vader, and this is a great characterization, I think, because you just don't get enough of him.
The terrified look on every rebel soldier's face.
Oh yeah!
Shout out to every extra in the scene.
Who said it, Bob? Where they're like they should use him like they use Jaws in the movies, where he's not around when he is. He's just.
I think it was actually Kevin Smith. I'm pretty sure that was a Kevin Smith thing where he said, "Yeah, use him like Jaws or Godzilla, where he's just absolutely terrifying, and you get him in small doses."
Yeah, you don't see him most of the time.
I love how he just stands out there in space. He's all
and just knowing that he's about to go chase them down, and that's the start of the next movie. It just like is
Start of the whole franchise.
And for me, I love that this now makes Leia telling him that they don't have the plans even more of a fuck you. Like, yeah, we know that you know we have the plans. We're not telling you.
Yeah.
And the OG alarms. Yeah.
Those are odd helmets.
They are.
Not very protective.
Yeah, those aerodynamic bike helmets.
The rocket troopers from Battlefront 2 helmet.
That's weird. Sorry, this is weird.
It is. For you.
Weird.
I do dig when she's. I do dig the piece of hope because it goes into.
Yeah, I like the Hope ending because that does bleed perfectly into A New Hope. Someone made like a fan edit out there where you can just go right into it.
A movie that has aged very well. Look, it's been out for fucking 4 years, but every year goes on more.
Of course, it's aged well.
Like I think people at first were maybe hesitant because they're like, oh, like this, like the CGI characters, like all that. But like, I think at this point, like most everyone likes this movie a lot. Like they're like, this is just an awesome. It's awesome Star Wars.
Yeah. But that's what I was alluding to when I said I was just testing my connection and everything. I put the movie on and. Almost like what we talked about, I almost wanted to watch it then. You know, this was 3 hours ago. It sucks you in so quickly. It's such a beautifully crafted, movie. The tone is so consistent through the whole thing, except for that weird helmet. It doesn't throw you off. It doesn't take you out of the movie.
Thanks for doing this. This was a blast. We'll have you back again. I don't know when you want to do them. We don't have to do Star Wars either. We can go outside the
Chitty Bang Bang next.
Let's go. Oh, I would love that. Or let's see, we do that. Have you guys done Bad News Bears yet?
Oh no.
Oh, come on. What? Barstool? You've never done what sports movies have you done?
I know, we'll see if they're on. It's on fucking streaming. By the way, I don't know why every movie in the world is not on streaming right now. It should be on every company who has a streaming platform should put a movie on right now.
Mm-hmm. There's weird. I gotta say, have you guys? We just got the Fire Stick. We got the Amazon Fire thing, and there are Tubi. I think it's called Tubi. You can There are some odd. I did a movie I co-wrote, starred in. It's me, Tom Arnold, Henry Winkler. It's called Group Sex. Dude, you can't find that thing anywhere, and it's on there, and it's so funny. I bet that.
I think my wife was in that.
What? Who was that?
I think my wife was in that one.
Isn't that where you met? You met in that. Yeah. No, but I mean, it might be on there. I would be surprised. That thing's a classic. It's not streaming anywhere.
I'll look it up. It's going up now. It's on Stars, which is just tough because you gotta have fucking Stars to watch it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
we haven't done one on HBO Go yet, but we'll try to maybe do one with you on Netflix. We'll open Netflix movie. That was a blast.
I'll do this anytime, guys. I really appreciate it. This was really fun.
Yes, everyone watching, hit subscribe. Do that now. That's a help. We got our fucking Westworld recap out. If you just watch Westworld, it's a great recap. So watch that. Greg's going to come on LCB later on in the week, Sunday. So download Quibi. That's not a free ad. Download that 10-minute rotating streaming service.
Or we will tell you whether you should or not.
That's the point. Yes. Chrissy's Clem is like Chrissy's Court. Let's go. Got to go watch it now.
By the way, you've seen
my fucking mind of what it was. I was like, oh, so that's Chrissy's Court.
Look, oh God, I don't even want to get into it. But the commercials for these shows are half as long as the shows. So
true.
For the shows.
All right, we're gonna go off. Thanks, guys. We'll talk next time. Thanks everyone for watching.
All right, bye, guys.